3. We may have to have a little exercise break to give Minister a chance to work some of the other muscles in our bodies, because she'll be sitting there all the time. But there'll be no big break after this. So the clock is starting at 2:05, honorable members. Honorable member, I now propose the question of the sum stated for Program 7-1, Region number 1, Barima Winey. Program 711, Regional Administration and Finance, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Mahipal, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Let me first of all take this opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Minister on her new appointment, and we look forward to her rebranding that ministry. There's no question under this program, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 711, Regional Administration and Finance, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let's turn to pages 324 and 325. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 712, Public Works, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, line item 6117, temporary employees. There is an increase of 3 members of staff. Could the Honorable Minister state who the additional 3 temporary staff members are, where there will be staff, their responsibilities, and how the RDC sees the additional staff members in influencing efficiency at the administration?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member, and thank you for your kind congratulations. This particular line item with the 3 staff would be 3 laborers, and they are located in the admin compound.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you very much. 6231, fuel and lubricants. Mr. Chair, the line item here represents an additional or an increase of 30 million. Could the Honorable Minister provide the last cost of fuel per liter paid by the RDC at the end of 2023 and the anticipated cost for this fiscal year?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Speaker, the sum there is the increase is for the expansion of electrical grids in Rincon and Mora, Maruka, and establishment of electrical grids in Yarakita, Parakis, Warapoka, Kamwata, Maruka, and Kubana. And it is to provide generation of power for various communities across the region. And we are very proud of the fact, Mr. Speaker, that we are able to be, that we can for the first time be able to give the expansion of these electrical grids and give electrical power to these communities. I think it is so necessary, and we are very proud of this fact.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, sir. Follow-up question. Could the Honorable Minister provide a breakdown of this sum in relation to the areas mentioned with respect to the 3 sub-districts within the region? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Okay. So we want to be able to ensure that the community, and we know that different communities have a different amount of persons, so the population may be less or more. And so dependent on that, obviously the sum aggregated would not be the same. And we are so happy again to be able to bring this kind of development to Region 1. And for the Mabaruma Power Station, we have 320,100,000. We have the Wauna Power Station, 14,520,000. Whitewater, 3,960,000 total. Sorry. Yarakita, 3,960,000. This is new. Parakeet, 4,536,000. Manawaran, 4,536,000. Waramuri, 3,024,000. Warapoka, 4,536,000. Kamwata, 5,292,000. And the Arakaka Power Station, 9 million.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 6251, maintenance of roads. Could the Honorable Minister state state whether or not these roads that I'll mention it, which obviously are in some deplorable state, whether this line item covers these roads? We have the Hosoro Hill Foot, from the Hosoro Hill Foot joining to the Wanaina Road, Barbina, which was recently completed, is back to the state it was, and in Moruca beyond the Hrodaya public road.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, honorable member. So the way, and I'm certainly honorable member sitting here now for 5 budgets and would understand that the Ministry of Public Works takes on the majority of the road work in the different communities across the country, and the Ministry of Local Government from the regional section or department of that ministry will deal with some of the roads and maintenance. These roads that the honorable member has just called will be dealt with by the Ministry of Public Works from the central ministry.
Honorable Minister, thank you. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister then indicate which roads the RDC will be catered for, as opposed to those that you mentioned will be catered for under the Ministry of Public Works?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So again, we want to be able to go to all of the sub-districts in Region 1. So starting with Mabaruma, we have Hobo Hill to Silver Hill. That's gravel surface road to Airstrip Junction. We have the Thomas Hill, Cans to Thomas Hill. Posororo Falls Road, Back Street from Volleyball Court to Guest House. Road Wauna Stretch. Arakuku, the Teachers Estate Port Kaituma, train line from Magdoum to Estate Port Kaituma, or Arnock, New School, Port Kaituma, internal roads, Matthews Ridge Road. Those are, of course, Matakai sub-district. And you have from Maruka, Parakeet, Kamwata, Haimaruni, Waramuri, Coco, and 4 Miles Branch Road at.
Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line item 6253, maintenance of drainage and irrigation works. Could the Honorable Minister provide a breakdown of the sum specific to the Mabruma and Moruca district? Additionally, does the sum caters for the silting area in Moruca, which was a project started last year?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member, this line item does cater for the silting cleaning because we recognize that it is a case of continuous works that have to be done in terms of desilting, cleaning, clearing of drainage canals and creeks. And so this line item does cover that. And I will tell you in relation to, was it Mabaruma and Maruka? Mabaruma, you have the clearing and desilting from Boathouse to Aruka River. We have clearing of creek shoulders of 99 Turn and Dark Bush Creeks. Then you have clearing of creek at San Jose Bridge to Maruka. And Mabaruma, you have drains left-hand side, Kumaka Junction to Kumaka Waterfront. And the clearing of drains on both sides of the Hosororo stretch. And the clearing of shortcut from Aruka River to Kaituma River.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for follow-up. So, for the Honorable Minister, confirm that the Kumaka stretch to the waterfront area was this project started? And could you provide an update of the status of this project?
Honorable Minister.
It's started. Mr. Speaker, honorable member, I'm advised that it's a routine cleaning, so it has started and it is continuous.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable members, under the current, these are all ongoing stuff that happens, right?
Yeah, I was just asking about the specific one in relation to Kumaka. Thank you, Mr. Chair. No further question.
Thank you very much. I thought you were going to mention that maintaining these waterways are like maintaining roads on the coast or in the city, because that's the main mode of transport, both. All members, I now put a question that is some stated for program 712, Public Works, for current expenditures and as part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Some stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, turn to page 713. Sorry, page 326 and 7, program 713. And I propose a question that the sum stated herein for program 713 education delivery current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the first question is on line item 6111 administrative. There is an increase of about $63 million and the staff, an increase of staff members as well. Well, I think it's 14. Could the Honorable Minister state the staff who will be employed here, their responsibilities, and especially the Department of Education and by extension the RDC, how they see them advancing the performance of education in Region 1. I'm asking this because when you look in volume 2, the indicators suggest that there is only 23 point something % of students, pupils at the national grade 6 level in Region 1 who pass 50%. And the target for 2024 is 25%. With the elaborate expansion of education and the Honorable Priya Manikchand's vision for advancing education in Guyana, I find it rather surprising that the region would only want to achieve 25% this year and not probably 40, 50, 60. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, honorable member, for the question. And it is, let me firstly answer the line item. There is an appointment of 8 graduate headmaster mistresses, and there are 6 non-graduate headmaster mistresses. And in keeping with government's vision and also emphasis emphasis and priority being placed on education, not only through the substantive ministry, but also through the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development in terms of implementing and delivering in the regions. Now, was a target set of 23, and there is now a target indicator, as you said, of 25%. Now, 2% may look small, but 2%, as opposed to where you would have been 5 years ago or 6 years ago, is a huge feat. And we're not limiting, or that is the minimum, but we're not limited to that percentage. Obviously, by training all of the teachers that are being trained in the country, and we want to be able to achieve 100% trained teachers to be able to give the kind of delivery and have the kind of results that we're looking for in all of these regions. And we know that our children in the hinterland regions have the potential, once they have exposure to the kind of learning that is necessary. And so while you might have seen a 2% increase, that increase is a realistic, but also in terms of the number of children, in terms of what we want to achieve, that 2% goes a long way, but we are not limiting ourselves to 25%.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Moving on to 6231. Mr. Chair, so last year, the Department of Education, and by extension, the RDC's allocation, depleted long before the end of the year, where we had school buses down and were not able to transport students for the latter part of the forest storm. That is September to December last year. Does the RDC see this as adequate? This allocated sum, is it adequate this year? And how do they plan for not to have such reoccurrence at the end of the fiscal year?
Prime Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And that is exactly why we have an increase from That is why we have an increase of 87,900,000. And it is exactly why we want to be able to have the maintenance and the functioning of these vehicles so that we could be able to, again, deliver to the people of Region 1.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Cox, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to, for clarity, the issue was not the maintenance of vehicles, but I recall visiting the office of the Regional Education Officer, who I frequent from time to time. And she said to me that there is no fuel, the regional budget for education has depleted, and so we cannot afford to transport students. So the issue is not the maintenance of vehicles, but rather the budget for education.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in relation to what the Honorable Member said, I don't know who he spoke of before, but this government ensured that when that transpired, we were in this house seeking a supplementary budget to be able to accomplish that. So that was accomplished.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I recall that vividly. But while we were passing that supplementary budget, the students were unable to be in school. Let's move on to 6242, maintenance of buildings. Could the Honorable Minister provide an update on the schools to be catered for under this line item, specific to Matakai and Moruka? And I have some specific schools in Mabruma. Are they catered for under this line item? Schools like Kobrima Primary, St. Mary's Primary, Posoro Primary, and the Peter and Paul Primary at Marawan. I know Peter and Paul will be having a new school, but in the meantime, maintenance for the existing building, are they catered for?
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. The schools, we have a number of schools that are catered for, and it is, you're right, that the Peter Paul School there will be a new school. And I think that is a huge improvement that we want to be able to give to our children there, the opportunity to be in a space where the environment is good, as well as we have enough space available for those students. But we do have a number of schools, such as the St. Nicholas School, Nursery School. We have the Quibana Primary, Karakaburi Primary, Santa Rosa Secondary, Santa Rosa's Teachers Quarters, Karaiko Teachers Quarters, Chinese Landing Primary, Chinese Landing Teachers Quarters, Warapoka Primary, Warapoka Teachers Quarters, Asakata Primary, Kachikamo Primary, St. Margaret's Primary, Barasaina Teachers Quarters, Lower Kaituma Primary, Obadea Primary, Mabaruma Primary, Mabaruma Teachers Quarters, Fort Kaituma Range. So we have quite a number of schools and teachers' quarters.
Thank you very much, Minister. Mr. Cox, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm aware of a majority of the schools mentioned, but I asked specific schools, and those were not mentioned. So I'm assuming that they're not catered for under this line item. With respect to the teachers' quarter, I know that the health department of the region is presently occupying lots of the teachers' quarter, which is the education quarters for teachers, and teachers are not adequately accommodated when requested because of such arrangement. How does the region plan to address this issue of buildings?
Honorable Minister.
I am advised, Honorable Member, that there are no shortage of quarters for teachers there. And as a matter of fact, because we had to have a resident medical specialist that they temporarily occupy. And again, it is to bring health services to the people there, but it is not to displace anyone from the teachers' quarters.
Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, myself being a teacher and being the Guyana Teachers Union representative for Mabaruma, I have very different stories. But I'll speak with the Honorable Minister of Education, as I normally do, on those issues. But I just want to highlight it here. Let's move on to 6281, security services. Security, Mr. Chair, is very essential. And all government agencies, government buildings, public buildings should be secured. So this is just a simple question, though, is why hasn't the Northwest Secondary School Annex, which is a temporary building that houses Northwest Secondary School right now, does not have security guards? There is absolutely no security services provided at that building.
Honorable Minister.
Honorable Member, I understand that both buildings are in the same compound and there is a security guard, but us being a government that cares, we are going to place a security guard in the next building in the same yard if it's necessary.
Mr. Cox, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for clarity, confirmation, did the Honorable Minister say that the Northwest Secondary School Annex temporary building is located in the same compound with another school? Are you speaking of the Marlborough Primary School?
Yes, the annex and the primary school are next door to each other.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I know they're next door to each other, but they're two very large institutions. And of course, one security guard is very insufficient. And I know there is only one from time to time. So again, we request, but you already made commitment, and so we applaud you for that. Mr. Chair,
Honorable member, go ahead.
moving on to 6292 dietary. Mr. Chair, again, last year, the Department of Education witnessed another very unfortunate situation in the region where it's allocated some for 2023, depleted or exhausted before the end of the year. And the Northwest Secondary School dormitory had to resort to alternative means to cater for the close to 100 students in the Northwest Secondary School dormitory. In one instance, the staff at the dormitory had to resort to themselves taking their personal fund to buy stuff to cater for students. How does the RDC, for the Honorable Minister, say how the RDC seek to address this issue on the 6292?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, there can be many, many statements being made in this house that are untrue, or it has little basis for truth. And this is one of those statements, because meals have been provided. The staff is sitting right here with me. The honorable member is coming to the house to be very political. This line item will cater for and is going to cater for all the meals to be provided for these children, as is the mandate.
Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you.
Be careful with respect to the claims being made, because you'll be asked to substantiate.
Thank you, sir.
Right. But if the minister is saying to me, all are getting, the house has to accept that, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I am guided by you, obviously. I just want to say, Mr. Chair, I just want to say to the minister, though, that
Don't say that, ask her a question.
ask her a question.
Yes.
But in asking her a question, could I say it?
Well, you can do your preamble, and it will
Thank
be
you. Thank you very much.
for
Thank
the
you, Mr.
minister
Chair.
to respond with her own statements and answer.
Yeah, once permitted by you, I'm sure she will. But I just want to say to her that I'm a politician, so I'm expected to be political. And if I can't be political, then I have no reason to be here. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I don't have the documents with me here that I know exist, so I'll withdraw that question. However, it still stands in my knowledge.
I just want to know what still stands in your knowledge. You're withdrawing the question. You're withdrawing the question, but you made a statement about the non-provision.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I mean, I withdraw the statement with regards to the meals at the dormitory. The comments, I withdraw that part.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Mr. Cox, you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister state if the bunching money for teachers are catered for under this program?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know if the honorable member doesn't know how this works, but any debunching would have to come from the Ministry of Finance and not through the Ministry of Local Government line items.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I conclude that the answer is no. Maintenance of water infrastructure, 6255. Could the Honorable Minister state, Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister state whether the health centers in the riverine communities of Mabruma are catered for? Those that are in need of repair. I'm specifically asking, sorry, Sorry, Mr. Chair. Let me turn back my
So can I put
page.
the education delivery vote now?
No, we are at 6255. 6255. Maintenance of other infrastructure. So, Mr. Chair, I went to health, but the question should read, could the Honorable Minister provide a breakdown of what other infrastructure entails under this line item?
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Speaker, we want to, as a government, of course, ensure that the primary schools and the environments are kept safe. And so we have catered for in this line item repairs to the fence at Mabaruma Primary, repairs to the fence at Kobana Primary, repairs to the fence at Manor Warren Nursery School, repairs to fence at Waramuri Nursery School, and repairs to fence at Sabai Primary School.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
No further question, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, I now put a question with the sums stated for program 713, education delivery current expenditure
Next.
stands part of the estimates. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. Ayes have it. Some stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn the page to pages 328 and 329. I propose the question that the sum stated for program 714 health services current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 6292. 6292, dietary. Mr. Chair, there's an increase there of about $12 million, which is welcome. But could the Honorable Minister state whether or not the persons employed specifically at the 3 regional hospitals of the region, are they trained nutritionists? And is there a program or a timetable specific to patients in the hospital where they are catered for?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, through you, honorable member, there is a nutritionist through the Ministry of Education that is there to assist, and there is also a food handlers certificate program on hand.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Follow-up is this. I noticed the Honorable Minister said there is, so is this one? But I asked for the three main hospitals in the region. So are you saying there's only one, or there's one at each hospital?
Honorable Minister.
So, Mr. Speaker, in the regions, and perhaps in the future, we will be able to better this, but in the regions, and even on the coast, it occurs like this sometimes. You have a nutritionist that will move through the region and will be able to provide the necessary expertise as they should, and that is what is happening in Region 1.
Thanks, Minister. Mr. Cox, honorable member.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I recognize the importance of health. And of course, there's no further question on the health.
Thank you, honorable member. I will now put the question that the sum stated for program 714, health services current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn to pages 330 and 331. And I propose the question of the sum stated for program 712, agriculture current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Mr. Cox. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 715, agriculture current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let's turn to pages 528 and 529. A very active corner at the western part of the diamond. I thank the honorable member, Mr. Maipol, for cutting back on the times. I see he's in good discussion there with the honorable member. Okay, 528. Honorable members, I now propose a question that the sum stated for program 711, Regional Administration and Finance Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Cox. Honorable member, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 711, Regional Administration and Finance, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Program 712. And I propose the question that the sum stated for public works, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, sir. Project code 1100200, bridges. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister provide specification with respect to the scope of work for the bridges at Wanina and Matthews Ridge? Just those two bridges.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member would be happy to know that the dimensions of that will be 7.62 meters by 6.1. And it is a concrete reinforced, will be a concrete reinforced bridge. So we are building very sturdy bridges and very durable bridges. And the money that is invested will obviously go to quality bridges.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We welcome the concrete reinforced bridge, and we know that those were started long before now. So it's good that it is being continued. 1400400 roads. This allocated sum is for the payment of retention and rehabilitation of road to Yarakita. And a road that I know came into existence long before 2020. Could the Honorable Minister state whether there is a plan to upgrade this said road to concrete and not just pebbles? Additionally, could the Honorable Minister also state what percentage of this sum is retainage and for which contract?
Honorable Minister, retention and for which contract?
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member may have been a bit confused when he asked the question just now, but I will help him to clear this up. The retention is not in relation to the Yarakita. The Yarakita project is a new project that is on board. I'm very happy to be a part of a government that is initiating new projects to have durable roads, bridges, and so in the community.
Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I think the Honorable Minister did not understand the question because I asked if there is any plan to upgrade the Yarakita Road, which for a long time has been just pebbles. Is there a plan to upgrade it to concrete? And then I asked, additionally, if the Honorable Minister could state what percentage of this sum allocated under this line item is going towards retainage and for which contract?
Let's see if this answer can clear up confusion and misunderstanding.
Mr. Speaker, let's start with the Yarakito Road, and I'll help the honorable member to clear up his misunderstanding of what this is. We are building a new road through a swamp that currently exists, so it's not an upgrade. It is a new road, a new project. It's not on an existing road.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member,
Retention
Mr.
is in
Cox.
relation to the construction of our Wansa Road.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, volume 3 of the budget estimates clearly state for this program, for this line item, rehabilitation of road at Yarakita. Rehabilitation. There is specific meaning to the term rehabilitation.
Honorable Minister, for the clarification of these misunderstandings.
Mr. Speaker, I will repeat again. This is a new road that is going through a swamp. It is a new road. The honorable member sitting here on this side of the house is explaining to the honorable member sitting there on the other side of the house that it is a new road.
Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let's move on. 1902600 infrastructural development. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister provide details of these two projects? And could she state if the landing and revetment at Komaka in Mabruma, is it in Mabruma or is it in Moruca? We have two Komakas in Region 1.
Yes. Honorable Minister, which
Thank you, honorable member. It's Komaka Maruka.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Cox.
To 601400 power supply. While we recognize the importance of extension for electricity, Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister state whether there is any provision for electricity in Canal Bank and Orinoco under this line item?
Minister.
Honorable member, we have electrical works for Barbina, Mabruma, Rincon, Maruka, Mora, Maruka, and Kwabana, Maruka.
Thank you.
Reliable electrical power.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I read all these books, so I'm aware of those, but I asked if under this item, line item, if provision is given for Canal Bank and Orinoco. The answer is simply yes or no.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if the honorable member does not like my answer, that is not an issue for me. I have answered the honorable member.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have answered the Guyanese, not me. They're all listening. Thank you. No further question under this.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 712, Public Works, Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimate. Honorable members, let's turn to Program 713, Education Delivery. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 713, Education Delivery, Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, 1202600 buildings. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister state whether or not the Peter and Paul Primary School, state the status of that new school that was mentioned earlier, and whether or not it is catered for here in terms of the status of the building of that brand new school?
Honorable Minister.
Honorable member, yes, it is catered for and it will be completed by February month end.
Thank you, Minister.
February. Thank you.
Honorable
And
member.
in relation to the Whitewater Primary as well. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the
Thank
sum stated for program 713 education delivery capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no.
Which one?
Ayes have it, sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Program 714, and I propose the question that the sum stated for this program health services capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, 1202400 buildings under health. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister provide a breakdown of the amount specific to living quarters at Mabruma?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, honorable member. There is a 60 million allocation here for construction of a living quarters, doctor's quarters at Mabaruma.
Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, follow-up question. Could the Honorable Minister state how many personnel will be catered for? And under this line item, is it adequate for all the personnel traveling from the coast to Mabruma in terms of expanding the health services there in the region?
Honorable Minister.
So the building that will be constructed, or the living quarters that will be constructed, honorable member, will cater for 4 personnel. It's 4 apartments, so 4 persons, and 4 specialists to be exact. And we want to be very clear: orthopedic, neonatology, and intensive care would be a priority in this allocation that is in this line item. So again, we are committed to bringing quality health care and health services to the people of Region 1, and Mabruma in this case with the construction of the living quarters or the expansion.
Thank you, Minister.
We're bringing specialists.
Honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, land and water supply. Could the Honorable Minister state whether the boats and outboard engine, which is catered for under this line item, will be utilized centrally by the regional health official, or is this for communities to assist in their transportation from the referring communities to central Mabruma? If yes, which communities?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, honorable member. And it is land and water transport, I believe, not what land and water supply. But it will be catering for the Port Kaituma maternal child care, Tasawini, Posororo, Tobago, Manawaran areas.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, could the Honorable Minister confirm whether Region 1 has functioning river ambulance in Mabruma?
Minister.
Yes, honorable member. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, honorable member. As a matter of fact, there is one in Maruka and one in Mabaruma, and we are very happy again to be bringing that kind of service, and they are functioning.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, 2502800 furniture and equipment. Could the Honorable Minister state if there is a routine maintenance of the equipment, and could she provide further details on which equipment are maintained under this item?
Mr. Speaker, thank you, honorable member. I believe that there is a different line item that caters for that. It's not this line item.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could the Honorable Minister state then what are the equipment and furniture to be purchased? I need this to be specific to the Maruka District Hospital.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member, and I will, for the benefit of the public, let them be aware of exactly how much their allocation will be catering for. So we will have one each to 50. This is the pharmacy dispensing window countertop. One each to 50 health posts and centers within Region 1. That's both 10 in Matakai, 26 in Mabaruma, 14 in Maruka. The DDA cupboards, standards required at hospital have minimum 3. Ward 1, Pharmacy 1, and Accidents A&E 1. This will cover our 5 hospitals, Mabaruma, Port Kaituma, Kumaka, Bakira, and Baramita. Water dispenser with backup, cup holder, and bottles. 1 each to 50 health posts and centers within Region 1. Matakai 10, Mabaruma 26, Maruka 14. Vital signs assessment kit on wheels. 2 each for the 4 health centers, Quibana, Waramuri, Whitewater, and Arakaka. 5 each at Mabaruma, Kamaka, and Port Kaituma hospitals. 3 at Pakira, 3 at Baramita, 1 at Karaiko. Manual mercury BP apparatus. 1 pair each at 49 health posts and 6 new for 2020.
Thank you, Minister.
20.
Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
I wasn't finished.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 714 Health Services Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 715 Agriculture Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I just have one question under this line item. So, Mr. Chair, while the government in its budget speech spoke of an accelerated agricultural development plan, especially for regions across Guyana, this amount represents no significant increase over the last 4 years. Therefore, could the Honorable Minister outline the initiatives to be undertaken and how this will impact the farmers as those in Arwau, Wanakai, and the other riverine communities?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We have a robust agri-extension program that is continuous, where seeds are given out, fertilizer, and all of those things. And as a matter of fact, there is currently no plant propagation nursery in the Maruka subregion. This project will aid in increased plant propagation in the subregion and will increase crop yield while bolstering extension services. It will benefit, and I would like to repeat this for emphasis, it will benefit over 200 farmers in Maruka area alone.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Mr. Speaker, if I may yes.
Go ahead.
There is also the current land area is inundated at high tide, which causes significant loss of crops. This project will construct, and this is the empoldering of 100 acres of farmland at Mabaruma. And this project will construct a flood embankment and assorted drainage channels for over 100 acres of land. This will benefit 50 households in Mabaruma. There is also the construction of storage facility for chemicals and tools at Mabroma and Port Kaituma. And there is currently no storage facility for chemicals and tools in Mabroma. This project seeks to construct a facility in each of these subregions, and it will aid in approximately 350 farmers in both subregions.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, just a follow-up question. In Mabroma, I know the Honorable Minister mentioned in Mabroma, but I asked specific to the riverine communities. Mabroma is a very large area. So could you just provide further details on the empoldering and which communities exactly in Mabroma?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 3 areas have been completed already in Mabroma.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could the Honorable Minister provide the names of those 3 areas just for the records?
Smith Creek, Unity Grant, Arukamai.
Thank you very much, Minister. Mr. Cox.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just want to say thank you to the Honorable Minister and thank you to all my colleagues from the Barima Winey region. I just want to say that we will be working together because I will be supervising work. So thank you very
paid your
much.
compliments. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you too.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for program 715 agriculture capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thanks, Minister, and your staff from region number 1. Have a safe trip back. Honorable members, we now start region number 2, and I invite you to turn to pages 336 and 337. And I propose the question that the sum stated for agency 73. Region number 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara. Region number 2. We are at page 337. And I propose the question that the sum stated for region number 2, Pomeroon Supernam, program 721, regional administration, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates.
Thank you, Committee Chairman.
Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Can I
Chairman,
direct
the People's National
the
Congress
minister
report.
to line item 6113, contracted employees? There's a sum there, revised sum from 2023, 11,835,000, and it is moved to 19 million plus. I see on page 337, for the same contracted employees, there's an increase from 5 to 9. Can I get the designation of those new employees?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, can I ask the honorable member if he's on the right line item, order technical and craft skill?
6116.
Contracted
6116.
6116.
Yes.
employees.
That's not what it said. It was 6113.
Honorable Chair, you can sit and pull the microphone close to you. It'll be a bit louder.
It's been a little
It's
cramped
better
up.
that way?
I'm cramped.
Whatever.
A little cramped up. I think better on my feet.
Or you think better in your feet? So it's not where you stand.
Yes, the designation for the contracted employees, four new employees.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member, it's one expenditure planning and management analyst, accounts clerk, cleaner, and hinterland affairs worker.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member.
Thank you, Common Chair. 6117, same for 6117, temporary employees. There's an increase from 12 to 16. Are these employees part of the temporary jobs as announced by the Vice President, or these are in a different classification?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These employees are part of the public service inventory, not the part-time workers.
Okay.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable
you.
member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Common Chair. 6242, maintenance of buildings. It's a bit strange. I'm seeing 20 million all the way through. But I'd like to, and when I say all the way through, it's from the actual of 2022. Budgeted an actual sum from 2022, revised sum the same, and now budget for 2024. Could you say which buildings are being repaired, with specific buildings?
So the Regional Democratic Office, the upper and lower flat, the Regional Accounting Unit, building at the RDC, general repairs to the RDC main building, purchasing of building material.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Common Chair. 6281, security services. There's a significant increase there. Could the minister explain the reason for it and the company, the security company that is offering the service?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, this is, as every couple of years, the rates of security services go up. This morning, I said it. In 2017 to 2018, the rates went up. As a matter of fact, from 2015 onwards to 2020, so it's not uncommon. Matter of fact, there was a drastic jump from 2017 to 2018. This is not so drastic, but the rates have moved from one level to the other level. So
Thanks.
That's what.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Current Speaker, could I ask the minister if in this house did we not grant or cater for increase through the budget, the 2023 budget, original budgeted sum, as well as supplemental last year?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Speaker, the fiscal year runs from year to year, and this is the budget for 2024. It has to be catered for in this budget.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Questions on this?
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 721, Regional Administration and Finance. Current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn the page to pages 338 to 339. And I propose a question that the sum stated for program 722, Agriculture, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Common Chair. 6253, maintenance of drainage and irrigation works. Could the minister say where these would be done?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This will cater for 471 trenches totaling 935 kilometers. These will be maintained and provide efficient drainage and irrigation services because we really want to improve the surroundings of the communities in all regions. And so we want to have this continuously done. So of course, this allocation is for that. But now you're getting the figure as the 471 trenches.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Chairman. Does this sum cater for both mechanical and manual cleaning?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, honorable member, this will be done manually, and just to let the people know, the people of Guyana know, and the people, especially Region 2, know, this is going to provide employment for over 330 persons in Region 2, which we are so happy to be able to put monies in the pockets of people.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Is the minister saying 330 new employees, or is this a continuation of the same program, which this government, by the way, inherited from the previous government?
Honorable Minister. Is it new people and did you inherit?
Yes, he did it.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, I have heard of all kinds of all sorts of allegations being made about works that was started under the previous administration, when in fact that is very much not the truth. And relation to manual maintenance of trenches, and so to provide an income, not only provide an income for them, but at the same time be able to improve and develop our community's drainage system.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Moving on, Comrade Chairman. Security services. Finally, on this, I shouldn't go with security service. 6302 training. There's 800,000 sum all the way from 2022 right down again. Could you give some specifics on the type of training that would be offered? And there's a mention of scholarships. Would there be any scholarship under this allocation?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So in an effort to upskill employees and ensure that they are not only functioning at a basic level, but have them be able to gain the kind of technical knowledge that we want them to have, we are going to, this line item is catering for part-time employees to build capacity in geographical information systems. The GIS enables the officers to easily manage, reuse, share, and analyze data, saving time and resources.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
For the question of
Honorable Members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 721, Regional Administration and, Program 722, Agriculture, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable Members, I invite you to turn the page to 340 and 41. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 723, Public Works, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item 62551. 6251. Maintenance of roads. Could the minister say which specific road is being done here?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member, in addition to the 225 roads that we have done over the period of just 3 years, we are going to continue with Masjid Street, mainstay access road, under naming access road, and purchasing.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Chair, and thank you, Minister. Could you say if the road, if one of the main roads running from north to south in Henrietta will be covered? I'm speaking about the road connecting the sideline all the way to Khan Street.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we are committed again to working for all communities in all of the regions. And that road is included in the capital item, line item of
Thank
the
you,
region.
Minister. Honorable Member, Mr.
All
Holder.
right, thank you. Thank you. That's good news because I've been making representation for that for some time. There is a perpendicular road to that. If you move from the sideline, it's the very next perpendicular road. You have some doctors living there, teachers, a church being constructed there, and persons there have been complaining for some time, and I've been making the necessary representation at various levels for some time now. So I'm asking if that road too, that very important road, will be asphalted or given a concrete surface this time around under this allocation.
Thank you, Honorable.
Honorable Minister.
That will be asphaltic. And as a matter of fact, I just want to mention to the Honorable Member in relation to the line item of roads that the substantial amount of roads will be done by the Ministry of Public Works from the central ministry. But this government has made a commitment that they will look at all community roads and all street lights to be done.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Not certain, the Minister answered, but I'm still trying to ascertain whether that specific road is being done. Did you say yes?
Mr. Speaker, the last road that the Honorable Member mentioned is going to be dealt with by the Ministry of Public Works.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Okay, so there's one other road in that community. I think we call it the Barbershop Street. Would that also be included? Because people have been bombarding me with regards to the state of that road as well. And so I'd like to know if that is also being catered for.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member, that road is being done under the capital budget of the Ministry of Local Government, 400 meters asphaltic road.
Very good.
That's very good. Again, we've been making representation for that from time to time. There is another road again, as we are on roads, and it's 200 and how many roads? 225 roads. There is an incomplete road in Dartmouth. When you enter Dartmouth, and your engineers and others will know, on the right-hand side, it links Hoppy Street. It goes eastward and then connects perpendicularly to Hoppy Street. It's incomplete. Would that now be completed under this program or any other program?
Mr. Speaker, I can only speak for what I have budgeted under the Ministry of Local Government. There is a central ministry that deals with the substantial amount of roads that we have in this country. And I would ask the Honorable Member to perhaps refer his question.
Thank you. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
I appreciate that the minister might not know, but certainly her staff within the region would that detail, because when they're planning these projects, I can't see that they would exclude the regional administration. Who are the persons with the within the region and with the oversight for the region? So I'll move on, Comrade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member,
Go ahead, Ms.
just to say that there are 3 roads that will be done in Dartmouth Village alone under the Ministry of Public Works. And as a matter of fact, I do know that there were 225 as opposed to 25 done in 3 years. And I am most certainly aware of what the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development will be doing.
Thank you, Minister. I remember Mr. Holder.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, again, I'm happy that roads will be done in Dartmouth. There are some specific roads there that the people have been calling for a number of years, for which you know that I've been making representation here for. So I'm happy and I welcome through our oil funding that we can do more roads. That will be all for this program, Comrade Speaker. I'll move on to the next program to save some time. All right.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The honorable members completed this program. I think he said he's completed with this program.
Honourable Member, Mr. Holder, you finish? Can I put the question then? Honourable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 7 through to 3 Public Works current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honourable members, let us turn to page 342 and 343, and I propose the question that the sum stated for program 724 Education Delivery current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The Honourable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. I'd like to direct the Minister to line item 6281, Security Service.
You may have to come closer to the mic or raise the volume.
6281, Security Services. There is a significant increase there from 457 $781 million to $591,686. What has occasioned this increase? I know that the minister, I know that they have to cater for the ordinary increases, but I'm not certain that that alone can contribute to such a significant increase.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every couple of years, the rates increase by a substantial amount. And if I may take the honorable member back to 2017 to 2018, the rates of a security service has raised from 430. Matter of fact, the amount allocated $432 million to $762 million in 2018, which is a substantive, massive amount of increase. This here is due to the rates being increased.
Thank you, Minister. Honourable Member, Mr. Holder.
The minister continues to mention that increase during our time in office, but I'm advised that that increase is because we increased the level of security at all government buildings in areas where you hadn't security prior. And so that is what occasioned that significant increase. So it had absolutely nothing, mostly, it was mostly not due to the increase in rates, but suddenly we're budgeting for increases, we're budgeting for security, and then we come back to the parliament, we give we cater for those increases, and then a few months later we come back yet again, and we increase it, by tremendous amounts. So, and yes, and it's only, it's way more than 6.5%. So I don't know if the minister can offer some other explanation other than it being due to increase in rates.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is due to the rates. In some cases, it's due to the rates as well as location, as well as personnel. Now, the honorable member comes to the House and says, I am advised that in 2017 XYZ, this is 300 million increase, which is a massive increase from 2017 to 2018. And substantial amount due to the rates.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, if we look at, the minister mentioned $300 million increase. But if you look at the actual for 2022, and we look at, that is 270 million. And we look at what is being asked for in 2024, it's 591 million. So it's a tremendous amount of increase. It's over $300 million. It's over $300 million. So I don't know what the minister is getting at when she refers to the huge increase under the APNO AFC government.
So, Minister, he says, what is this huge increase? Stop the clock. Let us try. Go, you're back on. I think
Thank you.
the honorable member, Ms. Ferguson, is
Thank you, Mr.
debating with hers and affecting yours.
That's not.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not certain what the honorable member is talking about, this huge increase. It's from 450 an approved budget to 591 for an approved budget in 2024.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. A pleasant afternoon to you, sir, and the staff at the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development. A follow-up to this very line item, sir. Would the honorable member agree with me that these companies are bidding at a lower rate to secure the contract? So later down in the year, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, sorry, then they come back for supplementary provisions. So rather than going out back to tender, the very contractor, because the explanations that we get in this house is as a result of changes in the rate or increase in the rates. And this is unacceptable. So would the honorable member agree with me that these security services are bidding at a lower rate in order to secure the contract, then coming back to this National Assembly requesting supplementary provisions?
Would you agree with the honorable member, honorable minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wholly disagree with the honorable member. This is an open tender process that allows more than one companies to bid according to the format and process of the National Tender Board. And that is what has been done. That is actually what has been done, as opposed to the honorable member asking me to speculate what was done.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Therefore, honorable member, can you inform this Committee of Supply, before coming to the National Assembly for supplementary provision, whether you go out to invite security firms to bid?
Minister, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, in a fiscal year, you have tenders going out in June. Right. If there are increases, and I don't believe the honorable member probably knows this, but if there are increases, then you bring it back to the honorable House, this National Assembly, to be debated upon and to be eventually passed. But it is, again, an open and very transparent process.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Holder. Honorable members, I now put a question that is sum stated for program 724, education delivery current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn to page 344. Okay, let us keep the words very parliamentary. And I propose a question that the sum stated for program 725 health services current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. 6117 temporary employees. I am seeing a revised sum of $43 million for 2023, but that has doubled or approximately doubled for 2024 to 93,634. When you look at the number of employees, temporary employees we're talking about here, the region is moving from 32 to 64 in the health service. Could you please explain the reason for this? Exactly doubling the number of temporary employees in the health sector. And are we substituting these temporary people in the place of professionals that have been resigning or leaving the job? Are we using them to somehow prop up the staff or complement it in some way?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, temporary employees, and being the former Minister of Public Service, temporary employees come on under the inventory of the public service with the intention of passing through the PSC. They are only temporary until they become pensionable until they go on the pensionable establishment. And these are pension inventory positions under the public service that are intended for the temporary staff who will transition to permanent. They are not a part of the part-time program. And these are not to prop up. This is to enable the efficient functioning of certain departments in the RDC and the region.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
So, Speaker, I'm pressed for time, but I'm really interested in where these within the health sector, where these temporary employees will be placed and their designations.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would be very happy to assist the honorable colleague. No, I'm not going to lay over. I'm going to spell it out for you right now so the public can hear it. We have 1 accounts clerk, 1 statistical clerk, 6 hospital porters, 4 ward maid, 3 statistical clerks, 2 vehicle drivers, 1 electrician, 1 supply expediter, 1 medical lab technician, 1 nursing assistant, 1 pharmacy assistant, 4 patient care assistants, 1 medical technologist, 1 staff nurse, another staff nurse, 1 pharmacist, 1 blood donor attendant, and 1 orthopedic technician.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 725 health services current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn your attention to page 530. And I propose the question that the sum stated for program 721 regional administration and finance capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Comrade Chair, billings, admin billings. Could the minister disaggregate the 34 million? There's a boathouse and upgrading of the electrical system there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Currently, there is an insufficient space to house boats and engines due to additional boat purchases. And having a boathouse will provide security, protect, and avoid early deterioration of boats. So, in light of that, there is a rehabilitation and extension of the boathouse at Charity, and it's 80 feet long by 40 feet wide.
Honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Yes, and there is a sum there for electrical system upgrade. Is it associated with the same project or it's a different project?
Minister.
So this is a different project, and it's a complete rewiring of the regional accounting unit building at Anna Regina.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you. Thank you, comrades. Chairman, furniture and equipment, 32 million. Could the minister disaggregate the individual sums and state the proposed use, where they would be used?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's one generator with automatic transfer switch. It's 200 kVA. And the current generator doesn't have the capacity, so it's being replaced by a 200 kVA. And it's due to the increase in additional equipment, new building that requires a higher kVA. And as a result, we would want to be able to have this in place, of course, to have the efficient functioning of the RDC. You have 10 smoke detectors and 10 automatic sprinkler system, 11 fire extinguishers, and 1 table model printer.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 721 Regional Administration and Finance. Capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn to program 722 Agriculture. Capital expenditure, and I propose the question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Common Chair. Miscellaneous drainage and irrigation works. There is 100 million there. Could the minister disaggregate the sum, stating how much is for retention and for which project?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have the 3 rollovers, which is the revetment at Golden Fleece, revetment at Charity, construction of revetment at Somerset Cross Canal. Then you have the upgrading of Access Dam at Devonshire Castle Phase 2, construction of bridge at Devonshire Castle, construction of irrigation check at Aberdeen Watercourse.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
The bridge, access dam, and the irrigation structure, are these new projects? If not, what was the commencement date and what is the completion date?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. They are both new projects, and as a matter of fact, well, all 3 of them that I stated, the latter 3, those are all new projects, and the beneficiaries of the upgrading of the access dam at Devonshire Castle Phase 2. This is going to provide access to approximately 64 farmers with 1,400 acres of farmland. So I'm sure the farmers will be very, very happy to know that this is going to be done. Then you have the construction of the bridge at Devonshire Castle. This will benefit, this is a timber bridge that will improve access to the farmlands. That is the intention, and benefit approximately 150 farmers with 4,000 acres of farmlands. So this is real improvement, real progress. Construction of irrigation check at Aberdeen Watercourse. The beneficiaries, this will assist with the irrigation of approximately 750 acres of rice lands for 35 farmers. And the current defective structure has caused wastage of water and so on, which we want to correct and make right and have these 35 farmers be able to benefit from this irrigation.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
I'm happy with the explanations for those projects except that the minister didn't give me a commencement date and a completion date. When she responds, she can still do so. But Minister, I'll be making representation for the Love Alliance Farm Access Road, and I'm wondering if that or why has that not been included. And since you're giving numbers to the Devon's Castle area, can you say how many farmers or how many acres of land there is being affected by you not catering for provision for that access dam to be done?
Thank you, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Minister.
I think, Honorable Member, I don't think you understand what it means that there was a new project. So the commencement date hasn't been awarded as yet. So you'll appreciate that I can't give you a commencement date for something that is now going to be awarded. Now, secondly, there is no one that is being affected with the second issue that you just raised because, and let me finish, because the region has been doing continuous maintenance work on that road to be able for those farmers to have access.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
All right. Current Speaker, when you plan a project, those projects have a process to go through. And if you understand the process, you would know there would be an expected time to start and to complete. Nevertheless, we can move on. So other equipment, $35 million. Could the minister disaggregate the sum, please?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I kindly ask the Honorable Mr. Speaker, if the Honorable Member is referring to line 722, is it land and water?
448.
448.
No, it's 4400800.
No.
Other equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this will cater for one motor grader. A grader.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you. My memory is telling me that the region purchased a grader last year.
So they could buy a
Is there
second
a
one.
problem? Yes. I
Yeah.
understand that that they can buy a second or a third if required. But is there a problem with any of the existing graders?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the Honorable Member is, while that sounds great and it sounds like we're not doing any work, the actual grader that the Honorable Member is referring to is through NDIA and not through the region. So the region is purchasing their own so that they can be able to maintain over 500 km of access road.
The region is get
Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Mr. Chair, it wasn't an insult to the minister. And I live in Region 2, and I know the administration gets the grader, the existing one from NDIA to do their job anyhow. But I welcome the provision for their own grader, their own independent equipment. All right, let's move on to the next
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we're moved on. We have moved
Oh,
on.
sorry, just distracted because we're having problems with the microphone feed. So you'll see a technician shortly come. Honorable members, I've been a bit flexible, but we are now way behind for today. And when you're asked to ask the questions, I appreciate the thanks you're giving, but when I give you the floor is for a question. Honorable members, I now put a question. The sum stated for 722, program 722, agriculture capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, sum stated now stands part of the estimates. 723, that's the program we're at now, Public Works. And I propose the question that the sum stated herein stands, capital expenditure, sorry. I propose a question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Common Chair. Common Chair, for the Minister, disaggregate that sum 71,500,000, and at the same time, because this is a rollover project, 126,500,000. Could the Minister state which are completed and which are in progress, which are yet to begin as well? And I'd like specifically to know which bridge in Richmond is being catered for here.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we have the construction of the bridge at Station Street and Regina. We have the construction of the concrete bridge at Charity Amerindian Hostel, the construction of the wooden bridge at Reliance, construction of wooden bridge at Anna Regina. And while these 4 have been completed, we have the retention for the rollover payable in March.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade.
Sanders.
Comrade Chair, the Minister didn't answer my question on the bridge in Richmond. I'm seeing a number of other projects there, Lima, Paradise. Those were not mentioned. Are they not catered for under the sum as stated in the description of the project?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have 7 new bridges. The ones that I stated were rollovers that have been completed, 2 wooden, 2 concrete. These construction of the bridge at Lima, construction of the bridge at Sparta, Windsor Castle, Richmond, Affiance School Street, Paradise, and Soddy. Those are new projects that will be coming on board for 2024.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. Moving along. Roads, $100 million there. Could the Minister disaggregate the sum? Again, stating the retention due. And for which project? And the 3 roads listed. Disaggregate the sum. The Minister can state the name of the roads to be done in these communities, and also those already completed. Can indicate which are already completed.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have 6 roads that roll over and they are completed. And again, the retention rollover is payable in April of 2024. We have Charity, Eastern Lima, Vilvoorden, Affiance, Danielstown, and another one in Danielstown. And those were the rollover. You have the upgrading of Cross Street, Vilvoorden. You have the upgrading of Muscle Street, Johanna Cecilia, upgrading of Barberman Street in Henrietta, and upgrading of Slough Street, Tamut Manor. And just the same as the Speaker, that the upgrade of the Cross Street that is to be done in 2024, that will benefit approximately 12 to 15 households in that area. Then you have Muscle Street, which the beneficiaries are approximately 50 to 70 households. You have the upgrading of Barberman Street in Henrietta, which will cater for 30 households, churches, schools, and businesses. Then you have the upgrading of Slough Street, Tamut Manor, and that will cater for approximately 8 to 12 households. So, and it's access to the sluice and pump station as well. So we want to be able to bring relief, of course, and make life comfortable for clearly over 100 households.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. I'll move on to infrastructural development, $36 million for wharves at Charity and Supanam. Comrade Speaker, the wharf at Charity is in a deplorable state. Students coming from Maruka in other riverine areas, students and people like have been complaining. In fact, I spoke, and if you can bear with me, Common Speaker, I spoke with a gentleman there just recently who complained that he lost his son, and he blames the war for it. Him having drowned, fallen over into the river and drowned. And so I'm pretty much concerned. The people of Region 2 are also concerned about the state of that wharf. So I'm asking if that particular wharf is being rehabilitated.
Minister?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And before I believe my friend would have had this interaction, the government would have, and the region would have made an assessment in the region as it relates to not only roads and bridges, but also the wharves. And these are not rehabilitation, but they are new construction of the Farmers Wharf at Charity and at Supanam. And it will allow for the beneficiaries, once a charity will be approximately over 2,000 farmers and persons who are traversing there. Then you will have beneficiaries for the other one for 1,500 farmers, Bethany, Supanam, Creek, Wakenham, Hamburg, etc.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member?
Common Speaker, we welcome the war, but it is my hope that for the farmers, we welcome it, but it's my hope that we can address the war that I spoke of as well. All right, I'd like to move on to the next program, Common Speaker. Sake of time.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We now, Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if I'm to turn. Just a second, sir. Oh boy, 5:28. My book just fell. Good. Mr. Chair, we're considering public works, right? I note at project code number 260-1400 power supply. And for 2024, yeah, power supply, sir. The region intends to expend 100 million provision for electricity distribution networks. The profile number 280 is saying here. 280. 280 is saying here. The project entails provision for electricity distribution networks in Barabina.
Oh, Region 1.
This is Region 1? Sorry.
Honorable Members, please.
I stand
Please,
corrected.
please, yeah. The book fell. And from the performance yesterday, you must give her tremendous credit for being here today. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for program 723, Public Works. Capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Pages 530 and 531 will have program 724, Education Delivery, Capital Expenditure. And I propose the question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates.
Thank you, Common Chairman.
Remember, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Common Chairman. Land and water transport. Common Speaker, on my last visit to the Pomeroon, to the Lower Pomeroon and Upper Pomeroon River on December 3rd, met with a number of parents who bemoan the state of the school boat and the fact that many of them cannot afford to send their children to school. I had first-hand look at the David G. boat, the school boat there, and it was in a deplorable state. So I'm asking if this provision here Oh, I should mention as well at Kabakaburi, spoke with a number of persons there again, and those parents were complaining about the time their children are reaching home in the evenings, in the nights, very late. And so they had suggested that more boats be made available so that the children can get home on time to do whatever they had to do in the afternoons. So my question is, if this provision caters for any of those two scenario, I think with the cost at the cost of 9 million, it might only be catering for one boat, but I'm not sure. The minister could explain if they're covering these two situations in both Upper and Lower Pomeroy River.
Honorable Minister, with all that, is it sufficient?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, again, the government is committed, whether it be through the education sector or the local government ministry, to ensure that the children in the region, as well as those commuting on the river through land and water transport, they have adequate service. We already have 26 boats in the region, and we're adding a cargo boat with shed at this line item.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holer.
And additionally, please, sir, the boat that the honorable member is speaking of, he very well knows that that boat is unserviceable at the moment.
Honorable Member, Mr. Holer.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know that the boat is unserviceable. That's not what was said to me. But moving on to furniture and equipment, there's a $35 million there. Comrade Chair, the Abrahamsville Secondary School is a project that we are proud of as a coalition, having initiated it to the stage of a contract. That school has since been opened, and I'm receiving some reports that with the washroom not being in order, water issue, I don't know how true it is. And also leaks. So I'm wondering if there's any sum in this 35 million to deal with that situation, if the situation exists, if it exists.
Mr. Speaker, just to say that having a plan, not executing it, is not good enough. And so this project of Abrahamsville School was not awarded until the PPPC government. And awarded in the PPPC government. And it's to enable the development of education and ensure that we have 100% secondary attendance. Now, Mr. Speaker, we are committed to maintaining and ensuring that the quality is upkept in these schools so that our school children all across the country will benefit from that. And every allocation that is given, whether on the education or whether the region, is for the progress on the education deliveries, for the progress of our children. Now, under this line item, we have one fire extinguisher. We have fire extinguisher 100, automatic sprinkler system 8, smoke detectors 20, fireball 7, electric sanding machine 4, combination furniture 60, laptop computers and HDMI cables 8, queen size bed and mattresses 5, double bunk beds and mattresses 12, teachers tables 11. I am so happy that the honorable member asked about this line item so I can state these things.
Mr. Speaker.
Plastic folding tables 10.
Honorable Member, the Minister has the floor. Go ahead.
Teachers chairs 59.
Minister,
Office chairs, yes.
go ahead.
Thank you. Office chairs, metal and with cushion 10. Executive chairs 6. Refrigerator 8. Freezers 4. Air conditioning units and installation 18,000 BTU 8. Desktop computer systems 6. Large cupboards 20. Small cupboards, 20. Filing cabinets, 5. A 65-inch television, 5. Desk and benches, A-type, 50. Desk and benches, B-type, 55. Desk and benches, C-type, 54. Nursery sets, 15. 6 burner gas stoves, bottles, and fittings, 2. And this is to cater for the primary teachers' quarters. All of these desks and benches will provide accommodation for students in the special education needs school, 5, primary, 4 to 5. And raise your graph, 1, to cater for the Department of Education. Chalkboards, 40. This will cater for 4 nursery schools, 19 primaries, 13 secondaries, and special education needs schools, 4, to provide chalkboards for better classroom interactions. These are things, Mr. Speaker, that were not there but being implemented and delivered by this government. Project 1, mattress, single bed, 16, to cater for the Department of Education.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable member, if you want to intervene while anybody is speaking, raise on a particular point of order. I will rule on the point of order and then. Honorable member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Chairman. If we can quickly move to health, because we lost a lot of time there with something unnecessary.
Honorable member, Mr. Holder, you know, I am supposed to be the judge of when we waste time and what's unnecessary. So this is a particular process in the passing of a budget which is necessary. Honorable members, I now put a question at the sum stated for program 724, education delivery capital expenditure. Stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, page 531, program 725, health services, capital expenditure. And I propose a question that the sum stated herein now stands part of the estimates.
Thank
Honorable
you.
member, Mr. Holder.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. Comrade Speaker, I had a bad experience in December in relation with a patient and a friend who died at study before receiving the kind of attention that he was required. He had to get a full body scan, and Study Hospital, as I understand it, does not offer that service. And so by the time he got that, for them to diagnose what was wrong with him, he would have passed. So I am asking if in this sum there is any provision for equipment that can do that kind of service. And also, I would like to ask as well if there is anything in the sum which caters for the full functioning of the operating theater, which was constructed under the previous administration and promised to become fully functional under this government.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this government is also committed to quality health care, and that is why we are going to have 12 new high-level quality health care, I emphasize, hospitals, smart hospitals, world-class hospitals, Mr. Speaker. And one of those will be in Region 2, because we recognize that every community in this country deserves quality health care, quality education. And just like the COVID building that was open, and there was a ceremonial function for several different days,
What was built at Saudi by the previous administration, as they claim, was a shell without anything that could not accommodate anyone, any patient on the Essequibo coast. And so now the government is expending money. As a matter of fact, since 2020 has been expending money, and we will continue to do that to ensure. Matter of fact, the one that is being built at Coffee Grove Coffee Grove Lima will have all of the necessary equipment, to give quality health care to the residents of Region 2.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Speaker, all the talk is here now, but nothing was done from 2015 to 2020 in healthcare, in education, for the benefit of Guyanese people. But now that they've heard of all of these hospitals, they want to come here and make noise over a line item that is for the benefit of the people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Holder.
It's difficult not to respond, Comrade.
No, you don't have to respond. This is not a response. You have to ask a question. But you're entitled to.
Comrade Minister, how can you say we did nothing when I just explained to you several projects, and I was asking of you, how is it that you are following up on it through these budgetary sums? I've mentioned the Brunswick Secondary, for example, where you falsely stated that
You can't impute.
All right, I will take that back. Which you inaccurately stated that we did nothing there.
Again.
Oh,
If you're going to accuse the minister of being inaccurate,
I withdraw.
you would have to provide the evidence. This is the authority.
The evidence for the
Right.
pool could be
So,
provided.
Please, retract that, and then let's get on with
I
asking for the
retract
question.
it, but I'm asking the minister, how can you say those things when there is evidence all across the region? We built new schools, we repaired practically every school in the region, every health sector in the region. We built a new theater.
Okay, you're making now a speech. I don't think you're leading to a question. Honorable members, I think we've exhausted the questions on this item, and I now put a question that the sum stated for program 725 health services. Capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, join me in thanking Minister and the regional officials for taking us through the agency. And I now draw your attention to pages 350 and 351. Honorable members, I now propose a question that the sum stated for program 731, agency 73, region number 3, Essequibo Islands and West Demerara current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Mahi Paul. Honorable member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the minister and her team get settled, first let me...
Okay, Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan, you have been exemplary during this budget presentation. Please keep it up. Honorable Member, Mr. Alert.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Let me thank the team from the region for being here. Appreciate your effort. Through you, Mr. Chair, I noticed 7113, or the technical, there is a reduction there. Can the Honorable Minister say if and how this is impacting the work of the team, whether positively or negatively, work in the region?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I didn't get the last part of or what the question was exactly.
We're looking at.
I know what the line item is, but.
Yes, there is a reduction there. So I'm asking, is this impacting the work of the region? And I may also apply the same to 6115. Whether this is impacting the work of the region, whether negatively or positively, because I see reductions there.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So there are reductions there, and as you know, the public sector, they have employees who will rotate. You have employees going and coming, vacancies existing and vacancies being filled. And so obviously for the work to continue, right now it does not affect our work because you do have a structure with a certain number of persons. So if you have a structure of 10 and you have 8, a unit can work efficiently. So I don't see a problem.
Okay, and for the minister on that, are these persons who are retiring or persons who are leaving the system?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These are persons who are leaving the system.
Through on that same line item, Mr.
Go ahead,
Speaker,
Honorable Member.
in the exit interview, the job leavers, how would they have rated remuneration as part of their decision?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not, maybe the private sector works in an exit interview, but usually if an employee wants to leave, they will issue a resignation
From a
letter.
public service.
A resignation letter.
Honorable Member, Ms. Alert. Honorable members.
Okay.
Can I
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Contracted employees, Mr. Chair, there is, let us say, a reasonable allocation there and a reasonable number of persons to be contracted. Can the Honorable Minister provide a rationale for employing these persons as contracted employees?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member, as being the former Minister of Public Service, the public service rules allows you to either employ by contract or by pensionable establishment.
Honorable.
And so there are some persons who prefer to benefit from a gratuity and be on a contractual basis. And there are some persons who prefer to be in a pensionable establishment, making a pension later. So
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
So then, Mr. Chair, can the minister provide the positions these persons will be filling and their remuneration? Thank you.
thank you very much, Honorable Member. So we have a clerk 2, an accounts clerk 2, 2 sweeper cleaners, 3 vehicle drivers, 5 typist clerk, 1 equipment operator, 1 vehicle driver, 3 laborers, 2 supply expediters, 1 computer operator, 1 equipment operator, 2 stores clerk, 1 administrative assistant, 1 office assistant, and 1 district development officer 1.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Mr. Chair, may I remind the Honorable Minister of the second part of the question, the remuneration?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. The clerk 2 is at $90,759. The accounts clerk 2 is at $90,759. The sweeper cleaners are at $74,900. The 3 vehicle drivers are at each $80,892. 5 typists, each $80,892. 1 equipment operator, $122,840. 1 vehicle driver, $96,274. 3 laborers, $80,892. 2 supply expediters at $80,892. The computer operator at $84,662. 1 equipment operator at $84,662. 2 store clerks at $8,892. one administrative assistant at 111,628, one office assistant at 80,892, one district development officer at 96,974.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, follow up to the response given by the honorable member earlier to my colleague with regards to the officers opting for permanent establishment or contracted employee. So can the honorable member point this house to the rule in the public service that states that persons have an option of either being a contracted employee or a permanent staff within the public service? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will do better than that. I will lay it over.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, turning to 6291 national and other events. I don't know if the minister will answer here or if the minister will choose to lay over the list of events that this allocation caters for, how much for each event, and in addition to that, how the riverine communities and islands of Region 3 have been budgeted for in these events.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you
The
very much,
honorable
Mr.
member has a cold and he's just nibbling at a little mint that I had approved earlier. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member, it works like this. The island of Wakenham, they will submit an amount and request, and the region will allocate an amount to them for these national events.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Mr. Chair, does the minister possess the dollar value information for that?
Honorable Minister.
Beg your pardon, Mr. Speaker, I didn't hear the last part of the question.
Please repeat, Honorable Member.
Yes, I was asking if the minister has the dollar value
Dollar value.
of that allocation.
Mr. Speaker, again, the island would request and they have not as yet. So there is no dollar value that is attached to that.
Thank you, Minister.
Can I follow up on that, Mr. Chair? To ask the minister how this allocation was derived, how was it determined that this amount and not $500,000 more or $100,000 more would go towards this line item?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There was an estimate submitted, but not just by the Wakenham Island. There was an estimate submitted by the region, and based on that estimate.
Honorable Member, Ms. Alert. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 731, Regional Administration and Finance, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Honorable members, I now ask you to turn to pages 352 and 353. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 732, Agriculture, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, similar to admin 6115, semi-skilled operatives and unskilled. has the region or the ministry or minister determined the reason for persons opting out of the region? I see there's just a slight deduction, but we want to nip things in the bud early if there is a,
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member, it's for different reasons, retirement, resignation.
Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Similarly, Mr. Chair, for the contracted employees, there is a reasonable increase there over 2023. Can the minister say again, what are these designations? Where are they going to be deployed?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, honorable member. And the increase, of course, is due to the new employees as well as the 6.5 increase to the scales of employment. So appointed was 1 overseer. You have 3 superintendents. Three superintendents. Okay, so it's 1 overseer and 3 superintendents.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Alert. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 732 Agriculture current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. If you listen, you hear. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. I invite you to turn to pages 354 and 55. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 733 Public Works current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I only have the question pertaining to the maintenance of roads. If the Honorable Minister can, Mr. Chair, sorry, can disaggregate this allocation here and specifically what percentage of this allocation goes to the area from what we call potential road end, down past free and easy, those communities going down there. How many miles or kilometers of roads going down there?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask the honorable member to clarify whether she is at 6242 or another line item?
6251, infrastructure maintenance of roads.
The honorable member is asking of a road.
I'm asking you to disaggregate. And then specifically, what percentage of this allocation is for the roads from potential road end going down along the river?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to disaggregate the sum here in relation to what the government is going to be doing through the through the region. Repairs to Annan Street, Namrik. Repairs to internal roads at Lenora. Repairs to internal roads at Hydroni. Repairs to internal roads at Iflot. Repairs to internal roads in Fellowship. And repairs to internal roads at Anna Catherine North. Repairs to internal roads at Good Fortune. And supplying the delivery of road building materials.
I'm hoping at some time, Mr. Chair, that the kilometers of roads can be provided.
Yes.
But that's all for me on public works.
Honorable Minister, do you have the length of these roads?
Yes, thank you very
kilometers or miles or feet or inches?
Thank you, sir. It's in meters, 330 meters for the Annan Street, 300 meters for the Lenora internal roads, 300 meters for the internal roads at Hydroni, 250 meters at the internal roads for IFLOT, 300 meters of internal roads in Fellowship, 280 meters internal roads at Anna Katrina North, 250 meters road at internal roads at Good Fortune. And just for the benefit of the honorable member, because maybe she will go on to ask another question, 200 residents will benefit from the repairs to the Anand Street. 250 residents will benefit from the internal roads at Lenora. 200 residents will benefit from the internal roads at IFLOT. 100 residents will benefit from the internal roads in Fellowship, and 100 residents road and repairs the internal roads at Anna Katrina North. And we have more with the internal roads at Good Fortune as well as Hydroni. So several hundreds of persons will be benefiting from the repairs on these roads.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Annette Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, follow up to the very line item 6251. The honorable member just provided to this committee that several roads will be done in several areas. For me, this is not helpful, Mr. Speaker, because Leonora the area in Leonora may have about 10 roads. So we need to know road 1, road 2, road 3, because we got to monitor these projects to ensure that indeed road 1 or 2 will be, the projects will be executed. So telling us roads in Anna Katarina and
Okay, Honorable Member,
not helpful,
you
as we have our
have to
constituents.
ask the question while we are very impressed
Okay,
with
thank you
your
very
knowledge and your specificity.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, would the honorable member be kind enough to provide the specific roads that will be done in the areas she identified not so long ago? Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Honorable
Mr.
Minister.
Speaker. Honorable member, these will be repaired. There will be repairs done to several roads in these communities. Several roads measuring at the distance with which I gave just now.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the response is quite unacceptable in my view.
Okay, but
I would like for the honorable member to lay over the information regarding all the roads that will be done in the areas she identified earlier.
thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will not lay over because I've answered the honorable member.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable member, please.
Mr. Chair,
Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
if I may rephrase it, Mr. Chair, has the minister been provided with the specificity of those roads, specifically which streets are being targeted? Has the minister been provided with that information? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I have given the answer already, but for the benefit of a new member asking the same question, it's maintenance, basically filling a hole, patching this up in all the internal roads of these areas that I've just said.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 733, Public Works current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to pages 356 and 57. And I propose a question that the sum stated for program 734, Education Delivery current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 6133, benefits and allowance. I see a nice increase in allocation there, a handsome increase, as my colleague has termed it. Can the minister kindly provide the increases and what additional benefits are going to be provided to teachers and persons in the teaching service?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, honorable member. So we have the temporary qualified master, and we have, matter of fact, 3 of them that will benefit.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Okay, and 6112, senior technical, Mr. Chair, through you, I see there has been a reduction. Can the minister say what would have caused this reduction in senior technical? I'm sure this would be a concern across the teaching service, across the teaching to the education community.
Honorable Member, Ms. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There were 4 resignations from the non-graduate staff.
Honorable members, it's a good time to put the question that the sum stated for program 734 education delivery current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let's go to pages 358 and 59. And I propose the question that the sum stated for program 735, health services current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 735, health services current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. I really thank the Honorable Mahipal for leading the ayes. Honorable members, let us turn to page 532. Monsoon deal. Honorable members, we are at page 532, and I propose the question that the sum stated for program 731, capital, regional development and finance, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Furniture and equipment administration. What buildings are we targeting here? If the minister can provide that information kindly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So the buildings that will be targeted would be the thank you.
Honorable Minister.
The admin department, the extension to the regional administration office, and the construction of vehicle shed at Leg 1 sub-office.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
If we can go on to 732, no, sorry, waiting on you, sir.
Yeah, I gave you the floor. Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Apologies, Mr. Chair. 732, agriculture. Can the Honorable Minister say the percentage increase in DNI services, how many acreage will benefit, and the targeted increase in agriculture output from the region?
Honorable, so just a little clarification. We are at Regional Administration and Finance Capital.
DNI.
Regional Capital, that's where we are.
Yes,
right?
yes, Mr. Chair, and I'm addressing 732, agriculture, and I'm looking specifically at DNI.
Yeah.
Renaud, there's yet? Oh, sorry, sir. Oh, no more questions, sir.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 731, Regional Administration and Finance, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, sum stated stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for program 732, Agriculture, Capital Expenditure, that stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Ms. Alert.
First, my apologies, Mr. Chair. I heard you when you say that, consider time. And so now with reference 732, agriculture, with specific reference to drainage and irrigation, can the Honorable Minister say the percentage increase in drainage and irrigation services and the acreage to benefit? And that will result in what is the targeted increase in agricultural output from the region.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The construction of timber ramp and landing at Zealot Middle Walk, Zealot East Bank, Essequibo, will provide a place for 50 farmers. And if to give a gender breakdown, 39 male and 11 females, who would cultivate 500 acres of land to offload their produce when they bring it out from their farmland.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 732, Agriculture, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, please look at program 733, Public Works, Capital Expenditure, and I propose the question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Ms. Alert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just quickly on the bridges, if the Honorable Minister can disaggregate that amount and tell us the type of construction, timber, concrete, what type of construction will be done as she disaggregates that amount.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All of what I'm about to state are reinforced concrete. Construction of bridge at La Bagatelle Leg 1, construction of bridge at Sierra Wakenham, construction of bridge at Bank Hall Friendship Wakenham, construction of bridge at Health Center Street Lagrange, construction of bridge at Hague Settlement, construction of timber boat ramp at Saxacali, rehabilitation of timber bridge at Schoonoven Carrier, construction of timber footpath bridge linking Unity Street to Canal No. 1 Road, construction of bridge at Tarla Dam, Metamir Zorg. And Mr. Speaker, these will benefit. The construction of the Health Center Street at Lagrange will improve access for health center and fire station. The construction of the bridge at Hague Settlement will improve access for residents and farmers of Hague Back, approximately 60 households. The construction of timber boat ramp Saxacali improve access for approximately 150 residents. Rehabilitation of timber bridge at Schoonoven improved access for farmers, loggers, and residents, approximately 350 persons. Construction of timber footpath bridge linking Unity Street to Canal No. 1 Road, improved access for 200 residents. And construction of bridge at Tarla Dam, improved access for 200 households.
Thank you.
And it is disaggregated this way, Mr. Speaker. For La Bagatelle Leg 1, no, but this isn't. Okay. For the new projects, which is the construction of the Health Center Street Lagrange, 14 million. Construction of bridge at Hague Settlement, 25 million. Construction of timberboat ramp at Saxacali, 14 million. Rehabilitation of bridge at Schooneven, 35 million. Construction of timber footpath bridge linking Unity, 6 million. Construction of bridge at Tarla Dam, 16 million.
Honorable members, I now put a question that is, sorry, Honorable Member Mr. Mahipod.
I had no intentions of standing, sir, but I just want a clarity from the Honorable Minister. They reinforced concrete bridge at Sarah Wakenham. Can I have a precise location? Because based on my knowledge of the island, where I spent a considerable number of years, I know that there is a reinforced concrete bridge there already at Sarah. So can I have a clarity, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's on the western side of Sarah at Wakenham. And it has been completed already.
It has been completed already, but you listed.
This is the rollover, this is the retention.
Oh,
sum
the
to be paid.
retention sum. All right,
Yes.
thank you, because I know the bridge is there.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Ms. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 734 Education Delivery Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Pages 532 and 33. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 735 Health Services Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Ms. Alert.
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 735 Health Services Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Let me thank the Minister, my good friend, the REO, Samar, and his team for leading us through region number 3. And we now invite the officials of region number 4 as the Honorable Siwaj takes over the chair.
Honorable members, I'll direct your attention to pages 364 and 365 as we look at region number 4, the Marama Hiker. First, we'll take current expenditure, and I propose the sum stated on the program 741 Regional Administration and Finance. I propose that the sum forms part of the estimate. Honorable member, go ahead, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comma Chair. I would like to turn the Minister's attention to the staffing details. I know there's a decrease of 10 staff members. Can the Honorable Minister say what has caused this decrease?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have several line items here. The Honorable Member has not stated which line item she's referring to.
Okay,
Honorable member, you're required to state the line item so that the minister can provide an appropriate answer. Go
thank you,
ahead.
Comma Chair, but I said the staffing details. So I will go through each line item to show a total of 10 that is no longer there. We have 1 from 6111, 1 from 6112, 2 from 6113, 5 from 6114, 6115 remains the same. 6116, 4 less. 6117, you had 0, you had 3. However, when you calculate it, we have 10 less. So I would like to know what caused the decline in the staff.
Thank
Honorable
you.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member, it would have been due to different reasons. Some retired and some resigned.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Flubes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. How many of the 10 staff resigned and how many retired?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't have that information with me.
Thank you.
Go
I
ahead.
will turn your attention to the program performance statement. Indicator number 3. It says, number of skilled personnel recruited, you had 3 in 2023. And now, in 2024, you have a target of 30. I would like to know what are the skills you're looking for and what mechanism is in place to ensure that the 30 workers you're trying to attract would want to stay on the job.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this entire exercise is to disaggregate by line item and specific headings the amount of money appropriated for the particular sector to run efficiently. And I don't believe the honorable member's question is applicable to this particular session.
Honorable Member, the Minister has answered, and we can move on, please.
Mr. Chair, the Minister has not answered my question. However, I will move on.
Go ahead.
Line item 6242. I see an allocation of $12 million. I would like to know, does any of this allocated sum will be used for the upgrade or maintenance of the sub-office at Timeri?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what I have here, the sum of $12 million is for the RDC main office, the Enmore sub-office, the King Grove Craft Center, the Grove Craft Center, the living quarters, and regional stores compound buildings.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, you have another question?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
So based on the minister's response, there's no allocation for Timeri sub-office. 6255, maintenance of other infrastructure. Could the Honorable Minister say what are the other infrastructure that will be maintained under this allocated sum?
Go ahead, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. So we have the weeding and cleaning of government compounds, maintenance to fence, King Grove Craft Center and landfilling, maintenance to external sanitary and water filter facilities, maintenance to fence, gates, Triumph living quarters.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Annette Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. On that very line item 6255, maintenance of other infrastructure. Honorable Minister, in 2023, there was a voted provision of $4 million, and you have a revised sum of 7.386 million for 2023. Can you explain to this Committee of Supply where this variance came from since I have no recollection of the region coming back to the assembly requesting supplementary provisions. So can you explain how this 7 million came about? Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So last year, there was a specific project that was being done and needed that, so.
Mr. Chair,
Go
the
ahead.
response is quite unacceptable. This is taxpayers' money. We're here to give an account. 4 million was voted on in 2023. You expended 7.386 million, close to 50% of the voted provision. I'm asking you, Honorable Minister, where did the additional 50% came from? Since you did not return to this assembly requesting additional funds for region number 4.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the honorable member would be aware, since she was a minister before, that you can do environment when you have to use additional funds from the same budget. From the same budgetary item.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, you can only rent money from, probably from current expenditure. So you should be able to have in your position from which line item or line items in the current expenditure you would have rent these monies from.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. 62-7-1.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item 6281, Security Services. I note that there has been an increase of almost $9 million. I would like to know if it is one or more than one security service that is being paid under this line item.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It is an increase due to rates.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, go ahead.
I know the minister's response, but she didn't say if it is, the Honorable Minister did not say if it is one or more than one security service.
It's one security service.
Thank you. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, on that very line item 6281, Security Services. You've just responded to my colleague that it is one security company that will be providing services. Can you say the name of the security service? And perhaps it would be good for you to also say to this committee of supply, provide the principles, the name of the principles of the security company. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member, we are normally in the habit of giving the names of companies, but I will allow the Honorable Minister to answer. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, all of these security companies with respect to the Ministry of Local Government and any other ministry went through the National Tender Board at a national tender process and got their bid through a process that is recognized by our financial system and our financial laws, properly recognized by them. I do not and will not give the principal's name, but I will give Security in Action Guyana Incorporated.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Flubes.
Comrade Chair, I turn my attention to the program performance statement. As far as I'm aware, and from the years of being coming here, the budget books, all three works hand in hand. So I have a question here. Under the strategies, I see promote the use of information technology. So I'd like to know, where is this promotion being done? And what is the current program that is being used to facilitate this?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, If you're going to generalize a question, it's very difficult because there is not a process by which this appropriated or the committee of supplies operate with the defending of a budget. And that is why you have specific line items under specific programs that points specifically to where the money is going. And so the question is, how are you going to be using the money to expend on whatever program or policy? That is a general question, Mr. Speaker. And if the honorable member can be more specific, I would be happy on that line item to answer.
You're reminded, honorable members, that in order for you to get a comprehensive answer, you need to direct the minister's attention to a particular line item when proposing your questions. Have we exhausted this agency? Go ahead, honorable member.
From Chair, would like you to have some clarity on that. Under training, including scholarship on, that was 6302. Does this line item cater for this strategy and for the use and promotion of technology?
Honorable Minister.
What we have under this line item, honorable members, training program organized by the Ministry of Public Service. And you will have professional secretarial science, procurement, stores management, customer care, etc. You have NDC training, which is conflict management, conduct of meetings, procurement, and so on. And then you have handicraft training, procuring materials to support training programs at craft centers in the region. So under this particular line item, that the honorable member stated, that's for the training.
Thank you, honorable minister. Honorable member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, to the honorable member, is it line item 6302 we're considering? Good. Training and other scholarships. Thank you for the information you've just provided to us in terms of the areas staff are expected to be trained. Can you say how many staff are likely to benefit from this particular training and how many staff you would have trained in 2023? Because I noticed 2023, you have 1.8 was budgeted, exhausted. And then for 2024, you got the same figure budgeted. So I just need to get a sense as to how many persons benefited last year as against those that will benefit this year.
Thank you, honorable member, honorable minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So while you do have a budgeted amount from last year, the same budgeted amount this year, you will have different training programs as opposed to last year. But the targeted amount would be about 220%.
Thank you. Honorable members, I will now put the question, which is that is sum stated for agency 74, region 4, Demerara, Mahaika, Ministry of Local program 741. Program 741, current expenditure stands part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. The sum stands part of the estimate. Honourable members, I now direct your attention to program 742, agriculture, current expenditure, agency 74. And I propose that the sum stated stands part of the estimate. Honourable member, Mr. Ramsey.
Thank you, Comma Chair. 6253, maintenance and drainage. Areas of drainage and irrigation. 195 million. Can honorable minister say where these maintenance will be done?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Okay, 625. Okay, let me. All right, so this is for manual weeding and cleaning. Then you have mechanical excavation, maintenance of dams, maintenance of sluices, maintenance of pumps.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Ramsu.
Thank you. Do you have like a specific where or which community or areas?
Thank you very much,
Honorable
Mr.
Minister, go
Speaker.
ahead.
So the weeding and cleaning will be throughout the region. So it's exhaustive in terms of everywhere. Mocha Arcadia is included. You have Friendship, Republic Drive, Echoes, Horstelling, Claybrick Road, so Grim Road, Olean Gardens, Victoria Road, different places.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Ramsarup.
Thank you, Comma Chair. 6255.
6255.
Can,
Go ahead.
can the Honorable Minister say what other infrastructure is catered for under here?
What other structure is catered for?
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
All that I've stated just now is what is catered for under this line item. 607. Okay, sorry. So
Please.
repairs to bridge and walkway and fence, repairs to side fence and electrical room, repairs to back fence, side gate and walkway, still sectional repairs to fence and guard hut, repairs to fence, driveway and security hut, sectional repairs to chain link fence, gate and security lights. You
Thank
have
you.
a Triumph, Golden Grove, Victoria, Joyce Phillips, Cane Grove, Huntley, and Cane Grove sub-office.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, you have another question or should I'll move on to Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
You got another?
You have another question?
Thank you very much for that response. That was very specific. On the 6284, can the Honorable Minister say what is this budgeted in for? Can you disaggregate it? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I didn't quite get the question.
Sorry, 6284 is other.
Mhm,
So
I know that.
I'm asking if you can say this amount that's budgeted for here. What is it for?
To provide relief for sluice attendants who are on leave. They are responsible for operating the sluice throughout the year to mitigate flooding and clean grills from unwanted debris and so on throughout the year.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, to the honorable member, can I take you back to line item 6255, maintenance of other infrastructure. I note for 2021, 2022, and 2023, we had a constant figure of some 4.5 million. And I note for 2024, you have an increase by some 2.5 million, which would now take it up to 7 million. Am I to assume that you're doing more works in 2024 as against what you would have done in the last 3 years? And earlier you did provide the works for which this 7 million will take care of, but you did not provide to us a disaggregated as to how the 7 million will be utilized across the various projects. So can you provide that information to us, please? Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. So there we have some wooden buildings there and they constantly need maintenance. So the money was included to do continuous maintenance work.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, go
But
ahead.
Mr. Chair, earlier, the honorable member in responding to my colleague, Honorable Ramsroop, stated guard huts, some fence, and all manner of things, right? Good, all of that is included, but you just said that you have some structures with timber that needs to be replaced with concrete. So all I'm asking you to provide to us is a disaggregated amount that this 7 million will cover for the various projects you identified earlier to Honorable Ramsarup's question. And I also asked whether you're doing more work as against what you did over the last 3 years, because over the last 3 years, you had a constant figure of 4.5. And now for 2024, you're seeking an additional 2.5 million more. So that's all I'm asking. Accountability and transparency, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the interest of accountability and transparency, first of all, I did not say that we were replacing and making concrete. I said we were maintaining wooden built structures. And secondly, you would appreciate it also that the cost for maintenance and replacing things like wood, if you have to replace a board, it's more than it was last year. So then the allocation is catering for that.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item 6231, fuel and lubricants. I note that last year it was 6 million, and this year it is 13 million. I would like to know if the 770 farmers that is stated in your indicator number of farmers within the region will benefit from this allocation.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So there is an increase, and it is in relation to monitoring and evaluating, effective monitoring and evaluating. And so we have additional field visits to do just that and inspect project sites and also prepare bill of quantities. It also caters for extended working hours of mechanical pump during rainy periods.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
I'm just wondering if I heard the minister spoke about preparation of bill of quantities and so being covered under this sum, or you just referencing something? So is there any new or added equipment, vehicle, or anything that comes under this line item that we have to use fuel and lubricants?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is for mainly for extended hours of the pump being used, especially during rainy season.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if I'm to take our attention to line item 6281, security services. Mr. Chair, for 2023, we had a budgeted provision of 24 million and change. And then we had a revised figure of some 32.5 million. Mike, there are two questions I would like to put to the honorable member. One, what would have caused this increase from 24 to 32? And how the variance was taken care of, since the region did not come back to the assembly for any supplementary provision? I can stand corrected. Secondly, I note that the region is seeking an additional 10 million for 2024. One, can you explain to us the reason for the increase? And secondly, or fourthly, whether the region will return in 2024 for supplementary provisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Member Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it seems to be a favorite line item of the opposition. but I'll answer anyway. So the fiscal year will commence in April, as not a calendar year will commence in January. And so we have to include it in this budget. Now, I am very sure you hear me. And also the increase is due. And, it's compared to what was happening in 2017 to 2018, it's a minimal sum of increase. And we have an increase of personnel, of rates, as well as location.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Flubert. Honorable Member Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the honorable member failed to respond to two other parts of my question. But I would love for the honorable member to say to this National Assembly where the difference came from, since you did not return to the National Assembly for the revised figure. We budgeted 24 million in 2023, and you expended some 32.6 million. Where the difference came from, Madam Minister?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I have answered this over and over again. The rates have gone up, so you will have to cater for that in the new fiscal year of 2024. So you budget for that.
No, Mr. Chair, I think.
And Mr. Speaker, if I may, if the honorable member,
Honorable Member, let's give the Minister a chance to answer the
if
question,
the
please.
honorable member doesn't like my answer, that is not my issue. I have answered the question.
Honorable Member Ms. Ferguson.
Mr. Chair, I wish not to get into a fight with the honorable member, but I think my question is clear. If the House approved $24 million in 2023, you expended 32 million in 2023. Let's forget about 2024 with the new rates that you've just alluded to. All that I'm trying to get from you, Madam Minister, the difference between 24 and 32, where did you get it from? Which other line item in this current expenditure for last year did you take the monies from? Already you spoke about environment and all kind of things. So that is the response I'm looking for. Did you return to the National Assembly in August of 2023 for supplementary provisions for security services? That is what I'm asking, I'm trying to get from you, madam.
Thank you very much.
To calm down.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, while the honorable member thinks that her question is quite clear, the honorable member also should probably tell this House how a budget of over nearly $300 million was passed in this House from 2017 to 2018 for a security service. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, there was an open tender process in May, then the rates went up, the House and a supplementary was brought to the House and was approved by the House, and the money was taken from that. So there is no underhanded business as the honorable member wants to suggest here. And as a matter of fact, it's full accountability and transparency because everything is going through a national tender board process.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Ferguson.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make it very clear to this honorable to this committee. I am not insinuating that some underhand business has occurred. I ask a simple mathematical question. The difference between 24 and 32, where did it come from? Since you did not return to the National Assembly for approved monies.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister, you
Mr.
go ahead,
Speaker,
please.
I have answered this question over and over. A supplementary was brought here and it was approved by this House, and that is how the money was paid.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Flubert.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item, I recall when I asked about 26231, the response given by the minister is that this increase in fuel and lubricant is that the machines will be working continuously, the pumps or whatever will be working continuously. So I turn my attention to 6282, equipment maintenance. If we expect these machines to work over and over, why was there no added or increase in this line item?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we were under a line item of fuel and lubricants, and the matter of increase under that line item was because of the additional hours that the pumps will have to operate, especially during rainy season. Now, I do not see how that is relevant fully to the maintenance line item when there is monies catered for under that line item for the maintenance of these equipment.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes. Honorable Member, Mr. Maipor.
Sir, thank you. I'm rising on a point of order 40. The Honorable Minister has continuously in her presentation referred to the year 2017 and to 2018 about this huge increase in security allocation under the APNU AFC. And it was basically suggesting as though this rise happened just like that. Comrade Speaker, in 2017, every government institution did not have security services. And what the APNU AFC did was to put a policy in place to ensure that every government institution have security officers. We increased it to 24 hours of security service, and the personnel by virtue of that increased significantly from 1 to 3, catering for 8-hour shifts. And that's how we got a 24-hour service, which led to that increase. So please let the record reflect that the increase was done to provide not only job opportunities for a number of people, but to ensure the security of the government infrastructure so it will not be burnt down and destroyed in any other way, shape, or form.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let's return to our business here.
Mr. Speaker, if the honorable member is going to stand on a point of order and clarify, he has to seek my permission before he can get that, before he can clarify it. Mr. Speaker, I will respectfully ask that be expunged from the record because no such thing as on the floor.
Honorable Member, let's have some order, please. Honorable Member, let's return to our business, please. Honorable Member, I recognize the Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair.
Let us allow the member to ask a question, please.
Line item 6282. The minister responded to me earlier saying that she does not see the relevance of 6231 and 6282. But I would like to know if I'm not under the same program of agriculture and if the maintenance of equipment will not be done or for the machine or equipment that is being used under this particular line item.
Honorable Minister, there was some disruption. I'm not certain if you got that clearly. Would you like the member to repeat or?
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is asking about a line item that is for office equipment, computers and so on.
Honorable Member, would you like to rephrase your? Thank you very much. I take that as a hint that I can now put the question. Honorable members, I will now put the question, which is that the sum stated for agency 74, region number 4, Demerara Mahaika, program 742 agriculture, stands part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against, no. The ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimate. I will now propose, honorable members, that Agency 74, Region number 4, Damara Mahaika, current expenditure, Program 743, Public Works, stands part of the estimate. Honorable members, we are on Program 743, Public Works. We have any questions here? I will now go ahead, honorable member. I'm sorry.
Congress Facebook.
Chair, I was waiting for you to put the question, so that's,
I propose it.
okay, sorry. Thank you, Chair. Under 6251, there's a
We're on page 368, 369, Agency 743, Public Works.
Public Works. 6251, the maintenance of road. There's $125 million budgeted here, sir. Can the honorable minister say that if there's any cater for any roads to be maintained in Victoria, Paradise, Nabaclis, and more North, and Bachelor's Adventure?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member mentioned Victoria. Honorable member, Victoria. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member mentioned the road Victoria and.
Honorable member, would you care to repeat the question, please?
All right, Victoria, Paradise, Nabaclis, Edmore North, and Bachelor's Adventure.
So, Mr. Speaker, what we have is the repairs to Fort, under this line item. Fort Cross Street, Monrepo South, sectional repairs to First East West Cross Street and more, sectional repairs to Gas Station Road Success, Second East West Cross Street along Gas Station Road Success, repairs to Melanie, repairs to Django Town, repairs to, again, Second North to South Cross Street, Django Town, Second Cross Street, Greenfield North, Third Last Cross Street, good for Wacting, Third Cross Street on the Varsity Heights, repairs to Second East to West Cross Street, Strathspey, sectional repairs to Earls Court, LBI, repairs to Third North to South Cross Street, Strathspey.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, we now 40 minutes into this region, and I'm just saying that as a caution. We have 90 minutes allocated. We're still to complete the current and then to move on to expenditures. So please be guided accordingly. Go ahead, Honorable Member, Mr. Ramsaru.
Thank you, Chair. 6252. Again, sir, under this budget, we have $55 million budgeted here. And the honorable minister say if there's any legislator for maintenance under Victoria, the Backlist, the Edmore North, Bachelor's Adventure, and Paradise, sir.
So,
thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this government is committed again to doing all roads in all communities as well as bridges and street lights. In this particular budget and under this line item, what we have is the repairs to Timber Footpath Bridge at Monrepo. We have at Luziknan, Benkini Alley. We have at Victoria Community Ground. We have at Enmore Community Ground. That's the second bridge. Third bridge at Enmore Community Ground. First Timber Bridge at Clonbrook. Then we have the second bridge at Clonbrook, culvert at Strathaven, Timber Bridge at Tank Street Grove, Timber Bridge at New Grove, and Caneville, Timber Bridge at Alliance de Mary. We have second Timber Bridge at Anns Grove Housing Scheme, And we have the timber bridge at Third Street, President's College School Road. Golden.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item 6242, maintenance of buildings. I note that there is a $4 million increase. Was a new building added under this line item?
Is Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So again, it's maintenance of different of all of the buildings really. So it's the RDC 4 main building, and it's to prevent the deterioration of the building. We have the Sparendam living quarters. We have the Golden Grove living quarters as well.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Based on the ministry response, I guess the answer is no. I see that there is 6251 maintenance of roads, and we have 135 million. Can the Honorable Minister say which roads will be done on the Linden Suicide Highway?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I believe I spoke on all of the roads that we were doing maintenance under the line item previously.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. I would like to know if the minister can lay over a list of the roads, because I'm trying to follow all that she was babbling, but I couldn't understand which roads.
Honorable Member, you could make a request if you so desire.
But I would like to make a request to have a lay over of the roads that are to be done in the region under this line item.
Mr. Speaker, I will not lay over because I have stated, and it will be on the record of the answer.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item 6302, training and scholarship. I would like to know what programs will be available under this line item.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under this line item, we intend to train 25 persons to the region in the fire safety training, program.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I will now put the question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Region 4, the Marara-Mahaika Program 743 Public Works stands part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I direct your attention now to pages 370, 371. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 74, Program Agency 74, Region 4, the Marara-Mahaika, Program 744, Education Delivery, stands part of the current expenditure. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Line item 6241, rental of buildings. Which building is being rented under this line item?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I heard the line item, but I didn't quite get the last part of the question. I'd ask the honorable member to repeat. Thanks.
Honorable Member, kindly repeat your question, please.
6241, rental of buildings. Which building is being rented under this line item?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's Dorcas Club, it's Sparendam Public Club.
Thank you, Minister. Go ahead, Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to turn the minister's attention to the staffing details. I note 6111, administrative. We have 341 for 2003, 346 for 2004. 6112, senior technical, we had 1293. Now we have 1261. 6113, other technical and craft skill. I note 494 in 2003 and 698 in 2024. Can the Honorable Minister say what has caused this 204 increase in employees?
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member mentioned two line items in one question.
Honorable member, please be guided. You're directing the minister's attention, I think, to line item 611. Am I correct?
I'm directing the minister attention to 6113. No, other technical and craft skill. We have 494 in 2023, and now in 2024, we have 698. So I'm asking, what has caused this increase of 204 staff?
Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member. Honorable minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You have a new appointment, which is 58 TQM3, and you have 49 trained graduates. Then you have a transfer in 35 TQM3 and 62 trained graduates.
Thank you, honorable minister. Honorable member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I turn your attention to line item 6282, equipment maintenance. I note we move from 6 million to 12 million. What new vehicles or whatever was added to this particular line item caused this increase?
Thank you, honorable member. Honorable minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this line item is referring again to office equipment and so on, such as computers, etc. So it and air conditioned units and so the additional AC units and so would contribute to this increase.
Thank you, honorable minister. Honorable members, I will now put the question, which is that is sum stated for agency 74, program 744, education delivery stands part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. I'll direct members' attention now to pages 372 and 373, and I propose the question that is sum stated for agency 74, region 4, Demerara Mahaica, program 745, health services stands part of the estimate. Honorable member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Commissioner Chair. I want to turn the minister's attention to the staffing details again. And I note that from 6111 to 6117, there's been a decrease of 28 staff members. And I note semi-skilled, 6115, semi-skilled, operatives and unskilled. We moved from 101 to 89. We had 12 staff that is removed from there. As I look at this line item, I look at the performance statement and indicators. Number 5 on the indicator speaks to number of trained health workers recruited. And there's a target for 25. Can the Honorable Minister say if the staff, I don't know how they've left, if they've retired or resigned, if any of these staff that left the agency fits into this 25 that you're looking to fill? So let me repeat the question. We got a total of 12 staff that left the agency. In your indicators, you're looking for 25. How will you fill this 25? What is your plan?
Honorable member, I'll allow the minister, the honorable minister, to answer, but you know the rules. Go ahead, honorable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Again, the budget and the defending of estimates is in relation to a specific line item that a specific sum is appropriated to or allocated to that line item and specifically targeting that line item. So the honorable member is asking a question in relation to several line items to
Honorable member, we went through this. I'm kindly asking that you refer a question to a specific line item so you can be clear and the minister will be in a position to answer also clearly in a manner that is satisfactory to all. Thank you, honorable members. I will, Dr. Cummings, sorry, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the light that most persons there's an increase in contracted employees. I notice here on the 6116, there's a decrease in contracted employees, moving from 34 to 30. But the amount budgeted or allocated, it's almost similar. So could you explain with a loss of about 4 persons, why is the amount budgeted for 2024 is almost the same?
Thank you, honorable member, honorable minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There was a 6.5 salary increase in case it missed the opposition last year, so the additional sum is here.
Thank you, honorable minister. Honorable member, you have a follow-up?
Yeah, no, just 6272 electricity charges. There's an increase of close to $8 million. What's the reason? Is it, well, it wasn't paid in last year, and so you have to pay the charges this year, or is it an increase in the rate? Could you explain why an increase of $8 million for electricity charges on the health?
Thank you, honorable member, honorable minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member is due to the new buildings at Swan and Diamond and so on. Additional.
Thank you, honorable member. Honorable member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if I can turn the honorable member attention to line item 6302, training and other scholarships. I note for 2023, we had a budgeted sum of 2.5 million. But in the revised column for 2023, there's a 3 million, a 500 variance. Can you explain to this committee of supply where that 500 difference came from, since you did not return to the National Assembly for supplementary provisions? Thank you.
Thank you, honorable member, Ms. Ferguson. Honorable minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable member, there was a variance from the transport line item.
Thank you.
62, 65, and that would account for that revised sum that you see there.
Thank you, honorable
Thank you very much, Madam Minister.
Thank you very much, honorable members. With your leave, I will now put the question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Region 4, Damarara Mahaica, Program 745, Health Services, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against, no. The ayes have it. That brings us to an end of the current program. We'll now move on to the capital expenditure. And I direct members' attention to page 534. And I propose a question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Program Agency 74, Region number 4, Damarara Mahaica, Program 741 stands part of the estimates. Honorable member Karen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Project code 1203500, buildings under health. I notice there is provision for health facilities and payment of retention. So could you, sorry,
We're on 741.
Madam Chair,
Capital expenditure. Honorable Member, Mr. Ramsuru.
1208800, building administration. Madam Chair, there's a provision for a construction of a building. Can I ask the Honorable Minister where the building will be building and what's the purpose?
Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There will be a construction of office building at Triumph. Storage.
Thank you.
Triumph.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, Honorable Member Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Let me just get the correct page, please. Good. Under the very line item 120800, building, I note we have here 13.5. So according to the project code, we have the project entails provision for a building. So therefore it's one building. Okay, thank you very much. Is it a building, a high two-story building? What is the dimension of this building? And where's the design? Where can I find the design?
Thank you, Honorable Member, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's the construction of a complete concrete building inclusive of tiling, painting, installation of 30 feet long by 20 feet wide.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, I will now put the question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Region 4, Damara Mahaika, Program 741, capital expenditure stands part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against, the ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimate. I direct members' attention now to Program 742, Agriculture, and I now propose that the sum stated therein forms part of the estimate. I will now put the question that the sums. Honorable Member Ms. Flubes.
I note under this line item 1701200, the explanation given here is that they're going to have a revetment in Mahican and more, and provision of sluice doors, structured unity, and Buxton. So the Honorable Minister disaggregate the sum for these different areas.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the revetment at Mahica, you have $13,780,000. For the rehabilitation of the Unity sluice door and concrete structure, $12,400,000. You have the construction at BZ Dam and more, $13,976,000. And this would benefit over 200 residents. The one before that, which is Unity sluice door, will benefit over 400 residents and farmers within the area. The revetment at Mahica will benefit over 300 residents and farmers within that area. And the construction of the sluice door at Buxton is $8,820,000. It will benefit over 400 residents and farmers within that area. And you have the construction of the revetment at NDC Road, Tuesdike, and that's $8,224,000, and that is to prevent erosion of the NDC building foundation and also road shoulders. It benefits over 200 residents and road users.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, on this very project code number 1701-200 with this construction of the sluice and all the other things that you've just highlighted. Can you inform this committee of supply what method of procurement will be used for these projects?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Member, it was through an open tender process.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Region 4, Damarama Haika, which is Program 742 Agriculture, stands part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimate. We move on now to Program 743 Public Works, and I propose the question that the sum stated therein forms part of the estimate. Honorable Member, Ms. Flubes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Project code 1100-500. Bridges. I'm looking here in the detailed description of the project is at Mahaika, Paradise, and Great Diamond. So the Honorable Minister disaggregate the sums.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The construction of the one at Mahaika, it's $8 million and it benefits over 600 residents, that's school children, teachers, and parents. You have construction of the concrete culvert at 19th Street Dazzle scheme, and that's $6 million, and that will benefit over 200 residents and road users. Then you have the construction of the bridge at Diamond, which is 22 million, and it will benefit over 900 residents. And the bridge serves as a main access to the community. You have construction at Helena Mahaika, $8 million, beneficiaries, over 500 residents and farmers within the area. Construction of First Street, the bridge at First Street, Belmont Mahaika, benefits over 600 residents and farmers within the area. And you have construction of the concrete vehicle bridge at 6 Cross Street, Good Hope, Mahaika, and that benefits over 600 residents and farmers within the area.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, this very project code number 1100-500. I heard the minister earlier highlighting or identifying where these bridges will be constructed. So from the list you've provided, Mahaika alone will be benefiting from 3 bridges. I didn't hear anything for Paradise. Dazzle housing scheme is not a part of the areas to benefit, but I heard you made reference to Dazzle housing scheme and Great Diamond. You know, these areas are relatively large and dense areas. So it would be good for us to get the specificity of where these bridges will be constructed. So I need to know where in Dazzle, right? Where in Paradise, and also where in Great Diamond. And what will also be helpful would be the length. I know these days you're all building some footpath things, you know what I mean? So I need to know the width or the length of what will be important of these structures. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your detailed question, Honourable Member. I will now direct your question to the Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member, for the specific or the targeted question. And so, Mr. Speaker, this bridge, as a matter of fact, I did not say Paradise, it's not here, but please keep in mind, Honorable Member, that bridges are also substantively done through the Ministry of Public Works, as you would know. But these bridges that I have here for the construction of the Dazzle, which is at 19th Street Dazzle Housing Scheme. 19th Street Dazzle Housing Scheme, you have an 18 feet by 12 feet. You have at Mahaika, Good Hope Mahaika, 20 feet by 16. 20 feet by 16. You have a Diamond, 47 feet by 16. You have Helena Mahaika, 3rd Street in Helena Mahaika. You have 16 by 14 feet. You have Good Hope, 6 Cross Street, Good Hope, 20 feet by 16 feet.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, you know, Diamond has about 21 streets or something to that effect. So it would be good if the honorable member can tell me which street in Diamond will be benefiting from this bridge. Thank you.
Thank you for your follow-up, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That bridge will be at Diamond by the burial ground there.
Brother James.
It's an access bridge.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, with your leave, I will now put the question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Program 743, Public Works, stands part of the Public Works capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. I will now turn your attention to Agency 7, Program 744, Education Delivery, and I now propose the question that the sum stated therein forms part of the estimates. Education Delivery Capital Program, Ms. Flubez, go ahead.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Of this allocated sum for 120330 buildings, how much of this allocated sum will be paid for the retention?
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The sum of 8,752,000 for 6 projects.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, Honourable Member,
Sorry,
Mr. Ramsuru.
sorry, we're just clarifying how many minutes more left for this. Comrade Chair, thank you. The same project code, 120-300. Sir, can I ask for the Honourable Minister for some consideration be given to Strathaven Nursery School for the fence and the hot security out there?
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's not under this line item, but it is under the maintenance.
Thank you very much. It's for your information, Honourable Member, is under the maintenance program. You were directing the minister's attention to 120-333-000. Honourable Member, Ms. Flubez.
Thank you. Project code 62503-400, furniture and equipment, education. Does this sum covers furniture for teachers?
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So what we have in this line item and under this particular sum is purchase of fire extinguishers, all to benefit the teachers. Purchase of fire extinguishers, purchase of fans in the schools purchase of water dispenser, purchase of furniture for nursery schools, purchase of teachers' chairs, purchase of teachers' tablets, purchase of screens for nursery, purchase of cots for nursery schools, daycares, purchase of outdoor equipment for nursery, purchase of whiteboard, purchase of industrial arts work tables, purchase of work table for home ec, purchase of library racks, bookshelves, purchase of lunch kit racks, purchase of laptops, purchase of smart boards, purchase of floor model multifunction printer, purchase of UPS backup batteries, purchase of desktop computers, purchase of 65-inch smart TV, purchase of brush. That's it.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for your detailed response. Honourable members, with your leave, I now put the question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Region 4, Demerara Mahaica Program 744 Education Delivery Capital Programs forms part of the estimate. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Members' attention is now directed to Agency 74, Program 745, Health Services, Capital Expenditure, and I now propose the question that the sum stated therein forms part of the estimates. Honourable Member Dr. Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Project code 1203500, billings, health, provision for health facilities and payment of retention. The total project cost for this is 222 million, but prior to 2024, 128,500,000 was spent. So there's a balance of 93,500,000. So could you tell us the update of this building? Where is it located and what's the status?
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I think the honourable member is on the wrong line item. I have 93,500,000 here.
As the remainder,
because it was spent prior to 2024.
But so as the remainder, $93.5 million is to be spent in 2024.
So, honorable member, let me give you a breakdown. Construction of new health center at Monrepo, landfilling and concreting of yard at new Monrepo Health Center, provision for steel cages and oxygen cylinders at Cane Grove, Victoria, Buxton, Luzignan, Eccles, Mocha, Enterprise, Golden Grove, Supplies, Sue's Dyke, Dr. C.C. Nelson's Health Center, construction of security hut for Monrepo and Swan Health Centers, extension of pharmacy at Cane Grove Health Center, upgrade of electrical system at Mocha Health Center, construction of dental room at Long Creek Health Post, upgrade of all electrical circuits, panels, wires at Grove. And you know, this one here at Grove will benefit 1,350 residents. The ones at Mocha will benefit over 950 residents. And we have construction of shed and consultation room at Lowood, beneficiaries of over 80 residents. And Mr. Speaker, I was recently at Lowood, so I do know what the area looks like there. Construction of base for water tanks and fence at Grove Health Center will benefit over 1,350 residents. Construction of base and shed for generators at Diamond Smart Health Center. will benefit over 1,000 residents. Construction of base and shed for generator at Luzignan Health Center will benefit over 900 residents. Concreting of yard at Diamond Health Center will benefit over 1,000 residents. Upgrade of main access pathway to Nurses Training Center, Laboratory, and RHO's Office Paradise. Extension of pharmacy bond at Kurukururu benefits over 350 residents. Remodeling of building at Enterprise to create ultrasound room and waiting area will benefit over 1,400 residents. Extension of pharmacy and dressing room at Melanie will benefit over 900 residents. Landfilling of compound at Melanie benefiting over 900 residents. Landfilling and concreting of compound at Enterprise will benefit over 1,400 residents. Elevation of floor to training center, grilling of windows, and landfilling at Paradise Health Office for the staff and the nurses that are there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Dr. Cummings.
Yes, project code 2407900, purchase of ambulance. Could the minister say the specs of the ambulance? Will this ambulance protect like first responders? And, you know, we have these COVID-19, these emerging diseases that come. And we want to ensure we don't want a minibus, we want a real ambulance with specs. You know, I don't know if it's one with Toyota Land Cruiser and mounted on a truck style chassis. And so could you give us some specs on this ambulance?
Thank you very much, Dr. Cummings. Honorable Member, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an ambulance 4x4 off-road type, and it will be benefiting the Linden Sioux Lake Highway, Long Creek, and St. Cuthbert Mission, now Pocori Village.
Okay, lastly, project code furnishing equipment, project code 2503700, provision of furnishing equipment to which facilities and or which department? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Honorable Minister.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So we have ultrasound machines and to provide ultrasound services at the Diamond and Monrepo Health Centers. We have the machine for the required to confirm and manually check the hemoglobin. We have the packed cell volume reader. We have the laboratory machine required for lab at Diamond Smart Center. We have supply and install 60 kVA generator at Diamond Health Center, Nuziknan Diabetic Center. We have the microbumin machine at the Luzignan Diabetic Center to assess kidney damage. You have the microscope for lab studies at Diamond Hospital. You have filing cabinets, office desk, laptops, portable vital sign trolley, stainless steel dressing drums, phlebotomy chair, examination beds, crash carts, operating bed and lights, grid tie solar PV system 10, cardiac beds, cardiac monitors with pediatric and adult settings, portable defibrillator, patient waiting chairs, asthma recliners, hospital beds, air-conditioned units, medical examination lights, laboratory stools with backrest, office chairs, semi-executive, TV sets, dental chairs, wooden storage cupboards.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I think I can and I will now put the question, which is that the sum stated for Agency 74, Program 745, Health Services, Capital Expenditure stands part of the program. Those in favor say aye. Those against? The ayes have it. The sum now stands part of the estimates. On your behalf, let me thank members of the Region 4, the REO and his team. Of course, the minister is still there, will still be there, and members of the... Right, so I know, honor members, that the speaker said that we're not going to break, and we're not going to break safe and except for 10 minutes. So as you know, the minister has been sitting there for quite a while unbroken. So we'll take a short 10 minutes break. Members can feel free to stay here, but before we take the break, I think we have to go back into assembly. Thank you, Sergeant. Short 10 minutes break and to allow the minister to refresh.
We are a peaceful people. Struggle is always struggle, and we don't look for trouble.